What if the person you've spent 40 years building the titles, the career, the polished reputation is actually just a corpse you're dragging around in a designer suit?
Oof. That's a heavy way to start a Saturday morning, Seth. You're definitely not bringing the sunny vibes today.
Honestly, I'm feeling a bit wired. I spent the morning cleaning my old jaw harp and getting lost in some heavy cognitive linguistics texts, so my brain is currently stuck in deconstruction mode.
Well, I'm just happy to be here and not currently staring at a sunbeam through a window like I was yesterday. I'm feeling good, though, just pure, unadulterated silliness.
Speaking of silliness, where are Emily and Jane?
Emily's stuck in a deep yoga trance, you know how she gets when the handpan is out, and Jane is currently busy being no-nonsense somewhere else. I think she's actually off hunting for some rare shamanic herbs.
Typical. Anyway, we have a massive one today. We're looking at Fight Club by Palahniuk, but we aren't talking about the movie or the soap. We're looking at it as a manual for the midlife crisis. The radical, violent necessity of burning down your corporate identity to find a soul underneath.
Let's get into the wreckage.
Okay, we're diving in, and I have enough to say the opening. It's not a hook, it's a blunt force trauma. We open mid-chaos. The narrator is literally holding a gun barrel in his mouth.
I mean, talk about a stressful way to start a chapter. One minute he's talking about being a waiter, the next Tyler Durden is shoving hardware into his tonsils.
Right, and he says, and I love this phrasing. Either Tyler gets me a job as a waiter, or he shoves a gun in my mouth and declares that, to achieve eternal life, we must first die.
That is a very extreme way to handle a career change. But look at the logic he uses right there. He's explaining how to make a silencer. He's talking about drilling holes in the barrel so the gases escape and the bullet stays subsonic.
It's so clinical. He's describing the physics of a silencer while his teeth are literally on the metal. It's that detachment we talked about. The corporate self is gone. There's only the technical, visceral reality of the moment.
But then Tyler drops this massive, heavy claim. He says, death doesn't actually exist. We will become legends. We will stay forever young.
And the narrator's reaction is so grounded, so middle-aged. He pushes the gun against his cheek and goes, Tyler, what are you talking about? We aren't vampires.
No, man, we're just guys in a building that's about to explode.
Exactly. And that's where it gets terrifying, because he isn't just talking about a metaphor. He follows it up with the literal chemistry. He gives the recipe. 1 part 98% nitric acid, 3 parts concentrated sulfuric acid, an ice bath, glycerin, drop by drop.
It's like a cooking show from hell.
It's more than that. He links the destruction of the self to the destruction of the physical world. He says the building, the Parker Morris skyscraper, will be gone in 10 minutes.
Wait, he's describing the demolition like it's a masterpiece. He talks about the Project Destruction Committee members throwing office furniture out the windows, filing cabinets looking like large black refrigerators, then turning into black raindrops as they fall.
It's that deconstruction I mentioned earlier. The office is literally falling apart. The symbols of his corporate life, the cabinets, the desks, the paper, are just debris.
And then he gets into the heavy-duty stuff. He says no building in the world can stand if you apply enough plastic explosive to the foundation columns, as long as you use sandbags to direct the blast inward.
It's so calculated. It's precision engineering, even in the anarchy.
He even gives us the lifestyle version of napalm. Mix gasoline with frozen orange juice concentrate or Diet Cola. Or get this dissolved dried calf feces and gasoline. I mean, if that isn't a middle-aged man's way of saying everything is trash, I don't know what is.
It's total nihilism. But look, there's a shift. We move from the explosion to a basement under a church?
Yeah, and it's weirdly tender. He's being pressed into the sweat-sagging breast of this guy named Bob. This guy, Bob, is massive, like a god, but he's just hugging him.
It's such a jarring contrast. We went from nitroglycerin and exploding skyscrapers to, you cry, let it out.
It's heavy set. He says he's been coming here for 2 years every week just to let Bob hug him so he can cry.
It's a deconstruction. To find the soul underneath the corporate suit, he has to strip away the dignity. He has to become the trained astronaut monkey he mentioned earlier, just reacting, just feeling. He's literally letting himself be broken down, physically and emotionally, to see if anything is left.
I don't know if I'm ready to cry in a basement with Bob yet, but I'm definitely hooked.
So, we left off with the explosion of the corporate identity, but now we're stepping into the wreckage. The narrator is in this basement, and the prose, it just gets wetter. He says, "A large wet face presses against the top of my head, and that is when I usually start to cry."
God, it's so heavy. He's surrounded by darkness, and he says it's easy to cry when you realize that whatever you achieve in this life will eventually turn to dust.
It's that nihilism again. He adds that everything you're proud of will eventually be thrown into the trash. There's no legacy here. No achievements to protect.
But wait, he's exhausted. He says, "I haven't slept in almost a week."
And that's the link to the insomnia we discussed earlier. Remember that claim he made about the wall? He says the insomnia makes everything feel distant and disconnected.
Which honestly sounds like a Tuesday night for me after too much caffeine. But for him, it's a clinical dissociation. He feels like a soul separated from a body.
And then the chaos of the room breaks through the sadness. He starts talking about Bob. And look, this is where it gets medically confusing. He says Bob is crying because 6 months ago his testicles were removed. And now, because of hormone therapy, Bob's breasts have grown.
Wait, what?
It's literal. He explains the biology. If you raise testosterone levels, the cells produce estrogen to balance it out. He says, when there's too much estrogen in your blood, you grow bitch tits.
I mean, bitch tits? That is a wild way to describe a hormonal imbalance. But it's so visceral. It's not medical in a polite way, it's raw.
And he uses his own tragedy to pivot. He's crying because his life has no meaning. Not even nothingness. He says it's complete oblivion.
It's that zero probability of enough survival idea again. He says it's easy to cry when you know everyone you love will either leave you or die.
But then, the scene shifts to the actual room. It's this basement of an Episcopal church filled with plaid armchairs from a discount furniture store. And there are 20 men and 1 woman.
And the woman is just smoking. She's just sitting there watching them sob.
She's the only woman in the stay men group, and the narrator's reaction to her is so biting. He looks at her and just repeats, a fake, a fake, a fake, a fake.
She's got this whole anime girl look, big eyes, pale skin, and he's tracking her through every support group in the city. He's seen her at the leukemia group, the brain parasite group, even the tough faith group for bone cancer.
It's like she's a ghost, haunting the entire network of human suffering. And he notes how all these groups have these cheerful, mindless names, like internal purity for blood parasites.
It's so cynical, but then he reveals the one thing that breaks his ability to cry. The most terrible thing is, I can't cry if she's around.
Because she's a distraction. She's a physical presence that pulls him out of his self-pity. He needs that darkness, that hiding between Big Bob's breasts to let go. He says that's the only place he can let go of the reins.
It's like he's trying to find the primal self by leaning into the most extreme, uncomfortable physical sensations possible.
Exactly. He's trying to find something real by visiting the edges of death. He even describes a guided meditation. She leads this garden of serenity with these colorful gates, but it's so strange. He's visualizing white healing light and chakras opening, but his animal totem? It's a penguin.
A penguin?
Yeah, a penguin sliding through ice tunnels. It's so absurd, but it's part of this attempt to use ritual to find some kind of peace, even if it's just a sliding sensation.
But that apeutic physical contact part, that's where the tension is. She holds him and she cries for 11 minutes straight.
And then the heavy hitter returns. The man who is essentially a mass of lard, or a huge moose, as he describes him. He moves through the room like elephant tusks and just pins the narrator down.
He just crushes him in these stifling embraces.
And then Bob starts talking. And the deconstruction moves from the psychological to the biographical. Bob used to be a bodybuilder. He was on steroids, on Visceral. He even mentions the chemistry of it.
This brings us back to that idea of the disposable man. Bob was a star, a TV personality, a god of the gym, and now he's just a man with bitch tits crying in a church basement.
It's the complete collapse of the curated identity. There's nothing left to protect. Just the weight of another person, and the realization that the person you were is already gone. So, we've established the setting this heavy, weeping basement, and now the narrator starts digging into Bob's past. He's trying to understand the man, and he starts with a linguistic hurdle. He has to ask Bob what huevos means.
I mean, if you're already being crushed by a giant man's chest, the last thing you want to do is a vocabulary lesson.
Right? But Bob explains it. Mexican for eggs. And then he pivots to why he was in Mexico in the first place. Steroid runs.
And man, the way he describes the glory days, it's so brutal. He shows this photo of himself, huge, naked, glistening, and calls it a stupid life.
It's a perfect description of that burnout we were talking about. He lists the entire ritual of the bodybuilding era. The shaving, the diuretics, the sheer physical strain of being hard and cold like concrete. The blinding lights.
Until you're blind from the spotlights and deaf from the roar of the music. It's that total loss of self. You've built this perfect sculpted exterior, but inside the person is just gone.
And then he hits us with the cost. The disease ruined him. He's not just talking about a physical ailment. He's talking about the collapse of his entire structure. His steroid-fueled, hypermasculine world left him with nothing, not even his own children, who won't even pick up the phone.
That is devastating. But then he moves into the medical procedure. He says they're going to drain the fluid from his bitch tits.
Yeah, we hit that earlier, but look how it's framed here. It's a weird biological fact that marks the next step in the deconstruction. The god of the gym is being physically dismantled.
And the narrator, he just fades out. He says Bob pressed him so hard against his chest that he sank into oblivion, and when he finally broke free, all there was left was a wet spot from his own tears.
It's so heavy. But look, there's a sudden sharp shift in tone. We jump back in time. This happened 2 years ago. He's reflecting on the very first time he went to this Stay Men group.
And he says something that sounds almost beautiful. In a twisted way, he says, "That is where freedom is. When you enough hope."
It's a massive claim. He's saying that hope is actually a tether. It's what keeps you tied to the things you're afraid to lose. But once you lose hope, you're free.
And he connects it back to his insomnia. He says that after the meetings he felt magnificent. He felt like a small, warm center around which the whole universe revolved.
And this is the kicker. He could sleep. The chaos of the group, the shared suffering, it gave him the only peace he could find. He says, "Every night I died and was reborn. I resurrected."
Wait, but then he immediately undercuts it. He says, "Every night, but not today."
Because the woman is there. The fake. He can't reach that point of resurrection as she's watching him. He's so distracted by his suspicion of her that he's literally biting his lips until they feel like shredded wallpaper.
Shredded wallpaper. That is such a visceral, gritty way to describe a wound, but he's obsessed with her. He's tracking her through every group in the city.
And he's convinced she's a simulant. He says, "I feel like a liar when she looks at me." But she is the one lying. He starts doubting everyone. He even suspects Bob is faking his suffering.
I mean, can you blame him? The guy is a mass of enough lard and a huge moose. It's hard to take anyone seriously when the whole room is just a sea of performative grief.
But then, he reaches this peak of total nihilistic clarity. He says that looking at her, amidst all this truth of suffering, makes even death and the dying seem as fake as the artificial plastic flowers on a VCR.
Wow. That is a huge moment. He's stripping away the reality of even the most profound human experiences. It's all just plastic.
And the scene ends with this hilarious, desperate outburst. He's being crushed by Bob, he's being washed by the fake, and he just screams, "Bob, I need to go vomit."
Honestly, relatable. Sometimes that's the only way to handle a midlife crisis.
But then, the book pulls us away from the church basement and into the mechanics of the work. We move to the airport. We move to the films, and we finally see the entry point for Tyler Durden.
The prayer. The way he prays for a plane crash.
Exactly. He's flying through O'Hare, LaGuardia, Logan, and every time the plane tilts, he's praying for a catastrophe. He wants the burning like tobacco moment. He wants the sudden, violent end to the monotony.
And that's how he meets Tyler. Tyler, the guy who works the projectors. The guy who lives in the flicker, click of the film reels.
It's so interesting. The narrator is a morning person, a lark, but Tyler is an owl. He only exists in the dark, in the shifts in the transition between one part of a movie and the next.
It's like Tyler is the personification of the glitch in the system. The moment when the two projectors are switching and there's that tiny, unstable gap,
and the narrator is just staring at those white stars in the corner of the screen, waiting for the crash. He's literally watching the film of his life, waiting for the reel to snap. That's a heavy way to end a segment. I think my brain needs a second to recalibrate.
Same. Let's grab some water and stretch.
Okay, we're back. Alright, we're back. We've been wading through some heavy stuff, but let's try to ground ourselves. Today, we're looking at the opening of Fight Club.
And man, let's be real, it's not exactly grounding. It's more like being tossed into a centrifuge.
It feels like the narrator is literally coming apart at even the most profound human experiences. Exactly. And the angle we're bringing to this is the midlife crisis as a radical deconstruction of the self. He's tired, he's trying to burn down his entire identity.
Right, like he's looking for a way to stop being a copy of a copy and actually find something real.
Let's look at how he starts. He's describing the projection booths of a movie theater. He goes into this hyperfixation on the mechanics of the white dot on the screen, the sound in the hall, the way the film moves at 6 feet per and 10 frames per foot. It's almost obsessive. It's so clinical. He's describing the machine, but it feels like he's describing his own mind. Just mechanical, repetitive, running at a fixed speed.
And then he gets to the part about the starburst that stay even on video. It's like he's saying even the imperfections are permanent. There's no escaping the glitch.
And look at this transition. He describes the intense, heat-filled, dark booth. He's standing between two projectors holding the shutters. He has to switch them perfectly. Switching posts. The film continues. No one in the audience notices. That's terrifying. The idea that you could be doing something massive, something life-altering in your own head, and the world just keeps eating popcorn?
It's the middle-aged fear, isn't it? That your internal chaos is completely invisible to everyone else. You could be having a total breakdown in the projection booth, and the guy in row F is just wondering if he should get more nachos.
Exactly. And then he mentions the danger. If you mess up the switch, if the film tears, you wake up in terror. And the next line, you wake up in Montgomery Field. He's not even in the theater. He's just waking up. Everywhere. He's in a state of constant, fragmented displacement. He moves from Montgomery Field to Majes Field to Boeing Field to LAX. He's just a ghost moving through airports.
And check out how he describes the travel. He calls it a disposable world. He talks about the hotel soap, the tiny shampoo, the disposable toothbrush. Everything is meant to be used once and thrown away.
Like he's saying we are too.
Wait, look at how he describes the airplane seat. He says he feels like Gulliver and Lilliput. His shoulders are too wide, his legs are too long, his feet are miles away hitting the seat in front.
It's that physical discomfort of a man who no longer fits in the template he's been given. He's too much for the tiny, sterile world of corporate travel. But it gets darker. He mentions Tyler Durden here for the first time. He says Tyler sometimes wakes up in terror because he dreamed a film tour or the gears chew the sound.
And then this is my favorite part, the prank. Tyler starts cutting these single frames of, well, explicit content and inserting them into movies. 1/60th of a second, he says a massive, monumental image flashes on the screen and the audience just sits there eating popcorn, completely oblivious. They don't see the chaos, but it's there.
And that's the kicker, isn't it? He says that even though no one sees the image, something changes in their subconscious. People start feeling sick or crying for no reason. That's a massive claim. He's suggesting that you can inject trauma or truth into a system, and even if the system denies it, the damage is done.
It's like those subliminal messages people talk about. You can't ignore the rot once it's inside the machine.
And it ties back to his job. He's a claims adjuster. He's literally calculating the cost of death. He lays out this whole formula, A times B times C. If the cost of lawsuits is less than the cost of a recall, you just let the cars explode. That's so cold. It's pure mathematical nihilism. If X is less than the cost of the fix, we don't do the fix.
It's the corporate way to view human life. Just a variable in equation.
He says, I know every skeleton we hide in the closet. He's not even ashamed. He's just documenting it. He's living in this disposable existence, meeting disposable acquaintances, waiting for the end. And then the sudden shift, the sudden end of the flight. The plane tilts, the engine roars, and he says, in this moment, everything loses meaning. You don't even need to file an expense report.
I mean, if the plane is crashing, I'm definitely not worried about that $25 receipt for my lunch.
But that's the point. He's looking for the moment where the disposable world stops and something real happens. And then after all that fragmentation, all those airports, all that corporate math, he meets him. And by pure chance, I met Tyler Durden on a nudist beach.
Enough. Out of all the places in the world, it's a beach full of naked people. The deconstruction is complete. The corporate suit is gone. All that's left is the skin.
It sounds like the start of the fire. All right, we're back. And we just left our narrator at the moment of impact meeting Tyler Durden on that nudist beach.
Which, honestly, is the most middle-age crisis way to meet a mentor. No yoga retreats, no expensive life coaches, just naked strangers and driftwood.
But look at what Tyler is actually doing while the narrator is asleep. He's more than just sunbathing. He's building something? He's dragging these huge logs, burying them in the sand, turning them into pillars. It's almost ritualistic. He's creating these vertical markers, and the narrator wakes up and sees this construction. He says, "When I woke up, Tyler had already buried 4 logs and was hauling a 5th.
It's like he's building a monument to nothing, just sticks in the sand.
But wait, there's a method to it. He uses a stick to draw a line on the sand, and he's watching the shadows. You know, it's actually quite clever. He's using the shadows to track the sun. I was actually reading something the day before about how people used to use a simple vertical pole, a gnomon, to tell time just by the length and position of the shadow.
So he's like a human sundial?
Exactly, but look at how Tyler describes the result. He calls it the shadow of a giant hand. He says the fingers are all wrong disproportionately long like Nosferatu, except for the thumb. That is such a visceral image. It's grotesque. But then he says the most profound thing in the whole passage. He says that at exactly 4:06 p.m., the shadow of this hand looked perfect. The shadow of the giant hand looked perfect for only a minute, and it was for that 1 minute that Tyler sat in the shadow of his created perfection.
Man, that hits hard. 1 minute of perfection justifies all the effort.
It's that drive to find something, anything, that isn't broken, even if it only lasts 60 seconds. It ties back to what we were saying about the disposable world. He's trying to manufacture a moment of permanence in a world that's constantly evaporating. But then, the scene shifts. Suddenly, we aren't on the beach anymore. We're in a support group.
Oh boy. Overcome. This is the most depressing place on Earth.
It's even weirder than that. It's a group for people with brain parasites. And the narrator says, no one uses the word parasite, everyone says agent. It's classic corporate rebranding. They can't call it a parasite because that sounds too aggressive. They have to sanitize the horror. It's not a parasite, it's an agent.
It's like when companies say they're not firing people, they're right-sizing.
But the horror is still there. The narrator describes the physical symptoms, people losing limbs, brain fluid leaking, the whole thing. And then he introduces the new character, Marla Singer. And immediately she becomes the antagonist of his piece. He calls her a liar, a fraud. He's sitting in his meditation, trying to visualize this white ball of light, and all he can see is Marla smoking a cigarette, just watching him.
She's literally haunting his chakras.
It's intense. He's trying to do this guided meditation where every chakra is a blooming flower and he's just yelling liar at her in his head. But then he gets to this part about Chloe. Chloe was a regular. She died. And the way he describes her death is, it's brutal. He describes her internal organs as a labyrinth of bursting veins and hot lymph.
Okay, that's a bit much. Even for me.
It's so visceral. He's contrasting the real death of Chloe, which is this messy biological catastrophe, with the fake suffering of the people in the group. Right? He says everyone is faking it. He says Marla is a simulant. He's looking at her and seeing someone who is just playing at being broken.
And then he says something that actually made me pause. He says, Marla doesn't have testicular cancer. She doesn't even have tuberculosis. She isn't going to die. But then he follows it up with, from a higher philosophical perspective, we are all slowly dying.
He's stripping away the drama to get to the baseline truth. The disposable man's only certainty is that everything ends in worms and fertilizer. It's so bleak, but there's this strange, dark intimacy in the end of the passage. He and Marla, they start dividing the illnesses.
Wait, what? They're splitting the diseases like a pizza?
Exactly. We can divide the week fairly, he says. She takes the brain diseases and the tuberculosis, and he takes the testicular cancer and the chronic dementia. And this is the kicker, she asks, what about colon cancer? And he says, yeah, we'll split that one equally. She gets the first and third Sundays of every month.
I mean, if that's how you want to handle a relationship, go for it. It's definitely unique.
It's a deconstruction of intimacy. No romance, no finding yourself through love, just negotiating the terms of your shared decay. It's like the perfect minute on the beach. They aren't looking for a lifetime. They're just trying to figure out how to survive the next week. We're back. And if you thought the dividing the cancer part was peak weirdness, just wait. Marla is actually... she's doubling down.
Yeah, she's trying to win the whole league. She wants the colon cancer. She wants the parasites. She wants it all.
But look at why she wants it. It's not even about the pain. She says she never even dreamed she could feel so good. That's the wildest part. She says she never felt alive until she had something to compare death to. It's that extreme polarity again. To her, the absence of tragedy is just nothingness. You can't feel the light if you've never been in the dark. She needs the true grief and the deathly horror to realize she's actually breathing.
It's like she's trying to use trauma as a stimulant. I won't live like I used to. She used to work in a funeral home. She's literally saying she's bored of the dead. She needs the living, breathing agony of a support group to feel a pulse.
And the narrator? He's just trying to keep his distance. He's trying to pull away, telling her to go back to your funeral home, but he's trapped in this orbit with her. And look at the transition. We leave the prayer circle where people are literally clutching hands and praying for guidance through our fate, and suddenly we're in a security terminal.
Back to the disposable world. The shakers and pitchers.
Exactly. The shakers, the baggage handlers, don't care about a ticking suitcase, but the security guy, he's hyper-fixated on vibration. Because of an electric razor. Precisely. This goes back to what he said earlier about the airline protocols causing disruptions. It's so trivial. A battery-powered razor vibrates and suddenly the entire system panics. It triggers a police intervention.
And then there it is, the classic Fight Club pivot. The suitcase didn't have a bomb. It had, well, the narrator's entire life.
I was carrying everything within me. The 6 white shirts, the 2 pairs of black pants. The extreme minimalism of a man who lives out of a suitcase. It's so clinical, so stripped down. He's literally reducing his identity to a checklist, a travel alarm, an electric razor, 6 pairs of socks. He's become as modular and replaceable as the items in his bag.
But wait, look at the consequence. The bag is pulled, the police arrive, and the narrator ends up in a taxi alone with his belongings scattered on the asphalt like debris.
It's like the world is physically unraveling him. His clothes are shredded to pieces on the street. And then the bomb arrives. Not the one in the suitcase, but the real one.
He describes his apartment exploding. It's a volcanic eruption of burning gas and debris that turns his living room into a charred, blackened cave.
And most heartbreaking, or maybe most middle-age crisis part, he's not mourning his life. He's mourning his stuff. He's mourning his handcrafted green glass service. He's mourning his 3-meter curtains.
He's literally heartbroken over a piece of glassware because it proved a simple, honest, hardworking Dutchman made it. He's clinging to the idea of craftsmanship in a world that just explodes.
It's that instinct to domesticate and decorate we talked about earlier. He says, I am enough the only victim of that instinct. He connects his shattered IKEA furniture to a larger shared tragedy. He's looking at the wreckage of his sculptural coffee table and seeing the end of civilization. The mass-produced life is being incinerated. Everything, including the service, was destroyed by the explosion. He's standing there in the middle of the debris, looking at the shimmering fragments of his life, and all he can do is keep moving.
He's just driving west at 455 miles per hour in his dreams.
There is no home left to go to. The apartment is a cave. The clothes are in the street. The person he was, he's just as shattered as that glass. God, all this destruction is making my head spin. Let's take 5 and grab some water.
Yeah, I need to check if my own stuff is currently exploding.
All right, we're back. All right, we're back. We've been drifting through some heavy themes of destruction today, and I think it's time to ground ourselves in the actual wreckage. It feels like we're walking right into the middle of a collapse.
Or maybe just a really intense renovation project.
Not quite. We're looking at the opening of Fight Club, and I want us to look at how the narrator starts not with a bang, but with just a list of colors and textures. Orchid, fuchsia, cobalt, ivory. It's so sterile, it sounds like a paint swatch catalog. Exactly. And then he hits you with all my life has been spent buying this crap. He moves from these beautiful, expensive-sounding names to calyx coffee tables and steg sets. It's all just stuff. And that's the scary part. He says, and so you become a prisoner of your cozy nest. The things you once owned, they become your masters. It's a total deconstruction of the middle-class dream. He's describing this existence where you're just accumulating layers of perfection until the explosion happens.
And it's not even a metaphor. The apartment literally blows up. Gas leaks, spark from the fridge, boom. Everything, the lamps, the diplomas, the school yearbooks just flies out the window like a solar prominence.
I love the absurdity of his grief, though. The apartment is gone, his life is literally exploding, and he's like, God, but my refrigerator. I had a collection of mustards. 14 types of fat-free dressing. 7 types of capers. He's so invested in the triviality of his hoard. It's like he's trying to use these tiny, controlled luxuries to buffer himself against the emptiness.
But look at what the porter says. This guy is the voice of the street. He's basically saying, yeah, people blow up their apartments for the insurance money. They want to make a quick buck.
It's so cynical. And then the narrator's reaction. He's literally calling for help from Tyler Durden. Tyler, save me from this. Save me from Swedish furniture. That is the core of it right there. He's not asking to be saved from danger. He's asking to be saved from comfort. He says, I don't want to be completed anymore. I don't want to be satisfied. I don't want to be perfection itself.
That is heavy. If like he's saying the perfect life is actually the cage.
And the way he finds Tyler, it's so visceral. He goes to this bar, they drink a sea of beer, and Tyler's first request is, hit me as hard as you can. It's a total pivot. We went from discussing how objects become masters to a man literally seeking physical trauma to feel something real. It's a total rejection of the soft life he was building with those calyx tables.
And then we jump to the aftermath. He's at work, he's presenting slides for Microsoft of all things, and he's literally swallowing blood in a dark corner.
The contrast is nauseating. He's sitting there, blood bubbling in his teeth, while his boss is talking about the perfect shade of light blue for a menu. It's that disposable feeling again. He's the coordinator of complaints, sitting in the dark, physically broken, while the corporate world just continues. The corporate machine doesn't even notice the blood.
It's like he's a ghost in his own life. The only way to feel like a person is to go to the club and let some guy beat the soul out of him.
It's terrifying, but in this context, you can almost see why he'd choose the pain over the perfection. We'll pick it up there. Next time, we look at the rules, because the rules are the only thing that's left when the furniture is gone. Okay, let's slow down. We've been talking about the explosion, the loss of the perfect life. But I want to go back to the narrator's headspace right before the club takes over. He's reflecting on his old routine. He says that when he came home angry because he was hopelessly falling behind his personal 5-year plan, he used to just fuss with his car or lick his condo clean. Lick his condo? That is such a visceral, creepy way to describe cleaning. It's almost obsessive.
It's manic, Jane. He's trying to control the one thing he can, the surface of his furniture.
And look at the justification he uses for it. He says, I knew that one day I would die, and my body would be as good as new without a single scar, and so would my car and my condo. That is so bleak. He's basically saying, since I'm going to end up as dust anyway, I might as well keep everything pristine and unblemished. He's avoiding the scar. He's avoiding the mark of life.
But then he drops the bombshell. He says, perhaps self-improvement is not everything. He follows that immediately with, Tyler didn't know who his father was. Perhaps self-destruction is much more important.
There it is, the pivot. He moves from the pursuit of the perfect, unscratched life to the idea that breaking yourself is the only way to find truth. It's a total rejection of that middle-scale dream we were talking about. He's literally looking for the opposite of a polished surface.
He finds it in a basement. He describes this scene, Tyler under a single hanging lamp and hundreds of eyes glinting in the dark. It sounds like a ritual, a dark underground ritual.
And the rules, he lists them and they're so circular. The first rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club. The second rule is you never talk about Fight Club. It's almost like a cult. But then he brings it back to his own life and it gets even more personal. He talks about his father. He says his dad had a habit of starting a new family in a new city every 7 years, like a chain of franchise restaurants.
Ouch, that's cold. No wonder the guy is looking for a fight. He has no foundation, no original self to go back to.
Exactly. He's a man built on transient, disposable pieces. And he says it plainly. I'm 30 years old, but I am still a boy. He's looking for a way to grow up, but not through the traditional way, not through marriage or a career, but through the impact of a fist. And look how he describes the difference between the club and like watching sports. He says watching football on TV is like, well, he compares it to pornography when there's a beautiful woman right next to you. It's all just a distraction. It's hollow.
Because it's all mediated. It's all through a screen, through a satellite with a 2-minute delay. It's not real.
This is the most important part of the whole passage for me. He says that after joining the club, you stop trying to look like a sculpture or an ad campaign. He says, as Tyler says, anyone can call themselves buff if they're just a souffle.
A souffle, just full of hot air.
Right. He's mocking the gym culture, the perfect body. He's saying the physical change isn't about aesthetics, it's about becoming carved from wood. He's moving from something soft and easily collapsed to something dense and resilient. It's the deconstruction of the self we keep coming back to. He's trading the soft identity of a consumer for the hard identity of a consumer for the hard identity of a combatant.
But man, the cost. He describes the fight where this guy is just smashing his face into the concrete, blood everywhere, a bloody imprint of his face left on the floor. And Tyler's reaction, he just says, cool.
It's terrifyingly casual. But then look at the aftermath. The narrator is back to his real life dealing with the dry cleaners, the bank, his boss. The problems haven't gone away. The bills are still there. The broken buttons are still there. But he says something so profound right after. None of these problems went away, but I didn't care anymore.
That's the power of it. The external chaos is still there, but the internal chaos has been channeled. He's found a way to carry the weight, because he's no longer afraid of the impact.
It's a dangerous kind of freedom. He's found a way to survive the disposable world by becoming disposable himself. We'll leave it there for today. All right, let's lean into this. We just left the narrator at his breaking point, but now the club is becoming a physical reality. He's living in this decaying house. It sounds less like a home and entirely like a tomb. Right, and look at how Tyler presents the stakes. He's basically saying the club is a finite resource. He tells them to either stop talking about it or open their own club elsewhere, because if they don't, they'll find themselves excluded from the first 50.
It's a classic gatekeeping move. You're not cool enough for the inner circle yet. But then, he hits them with that heavy obligation. If you come to a fight club for the first time, you are obligated to fight.
It's not a choice anymore. It's a ritual of initiation. And the narrator explains why people are there. He says people come because they are afraid to fight something in their lives. They use the physical punch to face the psychological paralysis.
And look at the crowd he describes. It's not a gang of thugs. It's accountants, junior executives, lawyers, all of them showing up with broken noses, purple as eggplants, or jaws held together by metal clamps.
They're just quiet people. They sit, they listen, and they wait for the moment to decide. It's like they're all waiting for the same permission to explode. It's such a sharp contrast to the perfect corporate world he was describing earlier. He's back at work, presenting slides for Microsoft, and he's looking at Walter, this guy with perfect teeth and beautiful skin.
And the narrator is just a mess. One side of his face is smooth shaven, and the other is just one continuous bruise. Blood glistening on his lips.
And Walter is staring at him, trying to piece it together. Is he thinking about the ozone layer, or animal testing, or something else? He's trying to find some normalcy in the middle of the carnage. But then the narrative just breaks. We jump into this visceral, almost nauseating imagery.
Oh man, the condom.
Yeah, he finds a used condom floating in his toilet like a jellyfish, and his reaction? He starts wondering about the inner workings of the sperm cells. Is this the cervix? He's so detached, it's almost surreal. It's because his sense of boundaries is completely gone. The house is falling apart, the roof is rotting, water is leaking through the plaster, and he's just observing the decay.
The house is basically a living organism that's dying. Everything is swelling, warping, rusting. The nails are literally falling out of the wood.
And it's also transient. He tells us Tyler has only been there 6 weeks. The house is filled with piles of old Reader's Digest magazines. He says the previous tenant used the pages to wrap cocaine. It's that disposable world again. Everything is being repurposed, used up, and thrown away, even the magazines. He even mentions these weird old articles where organs talk in the first person. I am Jane's uterus. I am Joe's prostate.
I mean, I've been there.
But look how the narrator identifies with them. He doesn't say, I am sad. He says, I am Joe's violated bile duct. He's literally fragmenting his identity into these clinical anatomical parts. He's losing the I.
And then there's Tyler. He walks up to breakfast, chest covered in hickeys, and drops the bomb. He met Marla Singer, and he slept with her.
And the narrator is just sitting there, trying to pretend he's reading a magazine. He can't even look up. This is the moment where the absurdity hits its peak. He says Marla is a bitch and a pervert, and that's exactly why Tyler likes her. And then get this, he tells us Marla wants to get pregnant, just so she can have an abortion from Tyler.
That is peak chaos. It's a total rejection of the nurturing or family ideal. It's destruction as a form of connection.
It's so much more violent than just a physical fight. It's an emotional, reproductive sabotage. And it all ties back to that feeling of being fragmented we talked about at the start. He's not a person anymore, he's just a collection of symptoms. I am Joe's white-knuckled terror. I am Joe's swollen, itching disgust.
He's literally decomposing while he's still alive.
And the end of the section, it's Marla calling him. She's in this hotel, the Regent, which is just a pile of bricks held together by S. Tumbered Knot. She's taken a whole pack of sleeping pills. She's screaming, I'm dying! I'm dying! And the narrator's response? He says, thanks, but I have other plans tonight. I'm going to a melanoma support group.
He can't even handle a real death. He's too busy looking for the spectacle of someone else's crisis.
It's a world where death is just another event to be attended, like a movie or a football game. There's no weight left to it, just the afterglow of the impact. That's a heavy note to end on. I think I need a moment to just breathe.
Yeah, my brain is officially a pile of bricks and snot right now. Let's grab some water.
Okay, we're back. Alright, we're back. And if you're just joining us, we're midway through the wreckage of the narrator's life. We're looking at this through the lens of the midlife deconstruction, that moment where the corporate, polished self just starts to rot.
Rot is a good word for it. It's more like a controlled demolition.
But it's so chaotic, we're looking at this passage where everything is leaking out. The boundaries between people, between reality and whatever Tyler is doing. Exactly, and it starts with this bizarre, almost cinematic moment of misunderstanding. Marla says something about wanting to hear the narrator's last breath because she's not sure if ghosts can use telephones. And Tyler, who, remember, is already operating on a completely different frequency, just loses it.
He hears death and telephone, and suddenly he's playing hero. He's convinced her death is a massive tragedy, even though he's never even seen her.
It's so performative. He's not reacting to a person. He's reacting to a concept. And then, get this, he claims that because of some ancient Chinese custom he saw on TV, he is now forever responsible for her because he saved her life. It's classic. He's constructing a myth in real time to justify his own impulse to go on a high-speed chase to the Regent Hotel. He's a character in a cosmic drama.
But look at the setting. He's dragging the narrator through this hallway of canned television laughter. It's like the whole world is just a cheap, looping broadcast, and then there's this image. The pink plastic. He's looking at a vibrator on a nightstand, and suddenly he's seeing millions of them pink, mass-produced identical marching off a conveyor belt in Taiwan.
That's the horror of it, isn't it? That's the disposable world the narrator talked about earlier. We aren't even individuals. We're just pink plastic molded in a factory.
And Marla just rolls her eyes and says, "Don't be afraid, it won't threaten you." She's so unfazed by the existential dread.
She's beyond it. She's already in the middle of the collapse, and the narrator is just following. He's pretending to be absorbed in Reader's Digest while his entire reality is being dismantled by the people in the next room. Speaking of the next room, can we talk about the Zen thing? Because the narrator is claiming this incredible, almost terrifying level of enlightenment. He's walking into work with blood on his pants, eyes looking like black bagels, and he's like, "I am a Zen master of the FX machine." It's such a grim parody of spirituality. He's not finding peace. He's finding a way to tolerate the fact that he's falling apart. He even writes haikus about it. The queen bee is a slave. The bird will find the whole world by losing its nest.
It's not Zen, man. It's dissociation. He's using these little poems to numbing the pain of the fact that he's basically a hollowed out shell.
But then he drops this absolute bombshell of a line. He says, "Everything is fine. I wouldn't mind if someone held a gun to my temple and smeared my brains against the wall." That's the peak of the deconstruction. He's so far gone that actual violence sounds like a relief compared to the boredom of his perfectly fine life.
And yet the chaos keeps expanding. We move from the hotel to this kitchen where it smells like clothes and burnt hair. And Marla, man, she's intense. She's literally burning her own skin with a cigarette.
She says, "Burn, witch, even burn." She's embracing the destruction. She's calling herself asswipe. It's so visceral. It ties back to what he said earlier about the pursuit of perfection being a trap. He's abandoned the clean identity. Now, he's just part of the mess. He's helping Tyler do 2 one-legged squats just so they can make soap.
Soap! From human fat. We've gone from corporate cubicles to underground soap making in, 10 pages?
But look at the underlying motive. He's not doing it for the soap. He's doing it because he needs to wash his pants. He's clinging to this tiny, mundane necessity-clean laundry, while the entire social order is being incinerated around him. In the end of this snippet, it's so heavy. He's reflecting on his parents. No profound wisdom, just don't buy things with plastic zippers. No connection. Just a history of silence and being a messenger between two people who won't speak. It's the realization of that disposable feeling. If your foundation is just a series of broken communications, how can you ever build anything that lasts?
You can't. You just build a fight club.
We're back, and we're stepping right into the thick of the grease and the grime. The narrator is literally cleaning Marla's wounds, wiping away blood from cigarette burns with a dishcloth. It's incredibly intimate, but in the most broken way possible.
It's like he's trying to fix a person the way you'd fix a broken piece of furniture. Just a little bit of polish, a little bit of wiping away the rust.
But the polishing is so surreal. He's putting her feet into high heels while she's still bleeding. It's like he's trying to force her back into some version of a lady, but the seams are all showing. Speaking of seams, look how he describes her dress. She's wearing this handmade wedding dress she bought from a junk man for $1, and you can see the raw, unfinished seams on the inside.
It's the perfect metaphor for everything we've been talking about. It's cheap, it's discarded, and it's literally falling apart as she wears it.
And then she drops that line, the one that really sticks. She says, "A condom is the crystal slipper of our generation. You put it on when you meet a stranger, dance until morning, and then toss it in a trash."
God, that is such a punch to the gut. She's taking the most intimate, transient moment of a human connection and comparing it to a piece of single-use latex.
It's the disposable world again. No lasting impact. No happily ever after. Just a momentary sensation followed by a trip to the garbage bin. She's saying we don't even use people. We just use the moment and discard the rest. And she's not even done. She starts talking about Christmas trees. How they end up in ditches along the highway, covered in foil looking like victims of a crime. She even compares them to people being bound with black tape and left in underwear.
It's getting darker. It's getting so much darker.
It's because she's describing the Auschwitz for the once loved. She's talking about the animal shelter, where pets that were once cherished are basically sent to be euthanized and cremated. Everything that was precious is eventually just processed.
And then poof, Tyler is just there. No sound, no warning, just standing behind the narrator while he's trying to cook fat.
And the cooking is the most bizarre instructional part of this whole thing. They are literally rendering human fat for soap. and Tyler is acting like a chemistry professor. Remember your Boy Scout training. Remember high school chemistry. Which, as we noted earlier, is almost impossible to imagine. Tyler is anything but a Boy Scout. He's teaching the narrator how to be a domestic terrorist. He's suggesting he could pump industrial dye into the boss's water supply or make a showerhead explode like a cannonball.
It's such a wild pivot. Read over the existential dread of discarded Christmas trees to, hey, let's blow up your boss's bathroom. It's like the narrator's morality is just dissolving in the boiling water.
But look at the narrator's reaction. He's not horrified. He's claiming he's enlightened. He's calling himself a Zen master, a Buddha, even a spider in the center of a chrysanthemum. But Tyler shuts that down immediately. He says, just because you stuck a feather up your ass doesn't make you a peacock.
I mean, he's not wrong. You can't just claim enlightenment because you're participating in a cult of self-destruction.
But that's the core of it, isn't it? The narrator is trying to find a way to make the chaos feel meaningful. He's trying to frame this destruction as a spiritual journey. But Tyler is insisting on the reality of the cost. He says, to reach the point, you have to move beyond self-improvement and embrace self-destruction. You have to take risks. He's literally defining the philosophy of the club here. Resurrection is only possible after complete self-destruction. Only by losing everything do we find freedom.
It's a terrifying way to live. But when you're already feeling like a copy of a copy, maybe losing everything is the only way to feel like you're actually real.
And then Marla comes back bringing more disposable news about recycled toilet paper, and Tyler just vanishes, like he was never there. And the narrator is left alone in a kitchen filled with steam, boiling fat, and the ghosts of his former life. He's just stirring the pot, waiting for the next explosion. Okay, let's settle in. We are officially deep in the chemistry lab phase of this collapse. The narrator is no longer just a guy with a bad job. He's a disciple. He's literally rendering fat in a refrigerator.
It's so visceral. Render and skim. Render and skim. It's almost hypnotic, right? Like a ritual.
But it's a ritual with a side of palmistry. He's kneeling by the fridge, and Tyler is tracing the lines on his hand. The lifeline, the love line. And he's using the cold fog of the freezer as the backdrop for this occult reading. It's beautiful and deeply unsettling. But then, the tension shifts. Tyler pulls him into a pact. Don't you dare speak of her, Marla, behind my back. Promise me.
And the narrator just folds. I promise. He's so desperate for Tyler's approval, he'll sign any contract, even one written in grease and shadow.
But wait, look at what happens next. The chemistry lesson starts. It's like a dark instructional manual. He says the fat is separating, and Tyler points out the layer of glycerin. And here's that terrifying connection again. He mentions that if you mix that glycerin with nitric acid, you get nitroglycerin.
Wait, hold on. Oh man, sorry.
Is that the library calling? Did you forget to return that linguistics book? It's my sister. Sorry, where were we?
We were at the part where Tyler is licking his lips and kissing the back of the narrator's hand. Right before the explosion.
Right, and he's laying out the formula for destruction. Nitroglycerin plus sodium nitrate and sawdust equals dynamite. Nitroglycerin plus paraffin and acid equals plast. He's basically building a toolkit for the end of the world. And then this is the part that always gets me. He uses the kiss to deliver the lie. He places the narrator's hand right where the moist trace of the kiss is, directly into the caustic soda.
Oh, that's brutal. This is a chemical burn. It's more painful than anything you've ever known.
It's a branding, not a burn. He says the scar will remain forever. He's marking the narrator, physically and spiritually. And the narrator is trying to use a meditation to cope. He's trying to imagine he's in Ireland, in a pub, near a castle, trying to escape the pain by retreating into a curated, peaceful memory.
It's so much like those guided sessions you do, Seth. Imagine you're in a meadow, only instead of a meadow, it's a damp, dark castle in Ireland where people are being sacrificed.
Exactly. He's using the technique to dissociate, but the pain is too real. He says, don't even try to say the word pain in your mind. He's trying to use the very tools of mindfulness to ignore the fact that his flesh is being eaten away. And the imagery, it's so heavy. He connects the lie in the fridge to the white soap that flowed from ancient human sacrifices. He's claiming that civilization, the very thing that cleans us, is built on a foundation of blood and bone.
It's that radical deconstruction we keep talking about. He's stripping away the clean veneer of modern life to show the rot underneath. Even the soap is a crime scene.
And the way he describes the wealth of his new life, he's standing there in his blood-stained pants, urinating on the Blarney Stone just to feel something. It's ironic, he's looking for meaning in the most debased, disposable acts possible. And yet, the passage ends with this terrifyingly somber realization.
Tyler looks at him, his own face wet with tears, and says, "Congratulations. You're one step closer to the end."
Because the heroism of the past is gone. He says the first soap in the world was made from heroes. To be clean, now, you have to be the sacrifice. Without their pain, their death, their sacrifice, we would be nothing. He's saying our entire existence is just the byproduct of someone else's destruction. It's a heavy way to end a chapter.
Yeah, it makes you want to go wash your hands. But you're probably afraid of what might happen if you use too much soap. Man, I need a break from all this soap and blood. Someone pass me the Munchkin deck before I start seeing ritual circles in the patterns of my rug.
Only if you promise not to use a superpower to cheat. Let's just play one quick round to clear the air.
Alright, let's get back into it.
It's heavy tonight. I was looking through some old ritual notes earlier, trying to find something about visualization, but I kept getting stuck on this visceral sense of decay.
It's the book, man. It's hard to stay light when we're reading about people literally sabotaging their own lives just to feel a spark.
It's like sabotage, though. It's a desperate attempt to break out of being a copy of a copy. Exactly. That's our lens for tonight. We're looking at the midlife crisis not as a breakdown, but as a radical deconstruction. This isn't about fixing yourself. It's about burning the old corporate version of you to the ground to see if anything real is left underneath.
Well, if we're burning things down, we might as well start with the most disgusting way possible. Because this chapter, it starts with a literal biological prank in an elevator.
God. Okay, let's walk through it. We're in the elevator. The narrator, still unnamed, still hollow is with Tyler, and they aren't exactly doing something dignified. They've stopped the elevator between floors.
And Tyler is... well, he's unzipping.
Right away. He's literally using a pot of tomato soup as a cover. He tells the narrator, "Don't look, or nothing will work." It's so grotesque. He described himself like a giant elephant in a bow tie sucking soup through a tiny, pale trunk. It's a complete degradation of the human form.
But look at what they're looking at through that tiny elevator slit. It's the great and powerful world. The magnates and their wives drinking champagne, basically slapping each other with buckets of it.
And the narrator is watching them through this cockroach-sized gap. It's such a powerful image of that detachment he feels. He's physically there, but he's a ghost watching the feast. And he's participating in this service industry guerrilla warfare. He mentions how he once spiked an orange moose for a group of lawyers.
Yeah, but Tyler takes it to a whole different level. He talks about stopping an elevator just to fart over a tray of pastries.
It's pure chaos. But notice the motivation. They aren't doing it for a laugh. It's because these people, the ones who pay the tips, treat the staff like cockroaches. Right. The service partisan mentality. This is where the deconstruction starts. They aren't just unhappy, they are actively trying to pollute the pristine, expensive world of the elite.
And then we get to the backstory, the renegade origin story. Tyler was working a high-end gala in this glass house, this cloud on steel legs, and everything goes sideways because of a simple psychological prank.
It's so subtle. Tyler doesn't even pee in the perfume, he just leaves a note. He tells the staff, "In one of your perfume bottles, there is now my urine." And that's the genius of it. He doesn't have to do it. He just plants the idea. The uncertainty is what destroys the piece.
And man, the fallout is insane. The hostess loses it. She's convinced, she's searching, eventually she's collapsed in a bathroom full of broken glass and spilled expensive whale secretions.
That part is so bleak. The whale secretions, the perfume getting into the cuts on her hands. She's screaming, "It burns, Walter, it burns!" It's the perfect metaphor for the whole book, isn't it? This extreme, expensive luxury, the perfume, the diamonds, the silk, it's literally cutting her. It's causing the very pain it's supposed to mask.
It's brutal. And then you have Tyler just standing there looking at the chaos he helped trigger and saying, "Cool."
But it's more than cool. He looks at the staff, who are all terrified of being fired, and he says, "This is the best thing that could happen in life. When you get fired, you stop beating a dead horse and start changing your life. That's the thesis right there. That's the radical deconstruction. To Tyler, being fired isn't a tragedy, it's an escape from the treading water of a meaningless job. He's literally embracing the laws of everything to find a way out.
I don't know, man. I think I'd prefer the stability of the hotel job. The chaos is a lot.
Maybe, but as the narrator shows us, the stability is just a slow way of becoming part of the furniture. We'll pick this up in a bit. Okay, let's get back into the thick of it. We left off with that absolute chaos in the elevator. The hostess all broken glass and expensive perfume, and Tyler just standing there.
And the narrator is moving right into the legendary stories. He's talking about the time he blew a certain event into a tray of chilled trout for a convention of dermatologists.
I mean, talk about a visceral way to disrupt a professional gathering. He's literally sabotaging the food. But look how he frames it. He's an expropriator of minimum wage. That's such a heady title, right? Service industry guerrilla warfare. It's like he's trying to reclaim some kind of power by polluting the very things these people consume.
But then, he gets into the technical side of the sabotage. He's talking about how easy it is to pull this off with cold soup, ceviche, soise, gazpacho, but impossible with French onion soup because of that thick, melted cheese crust.
It's such a weirdly specific detail, it's so mundane. But then he pivots to something much more terrifying. He remembers a doctor at a banquet mentioning that the hepatitis virus can live for 6 months on a stainless steel surface. 6 months on a surface?
Yeah, man. He's literally wondering if that virus could survive in a Russian charlotte cake or a salmon bake. I actually just read something similar. Apparently, some strains of Hep C are incredibly hardy in the environment, depending on the temperature.
It makes the whole scene feel contaminated. Like even the food is a weapon. And the doctor? He just laughs it off, saying you can find everything you need at a hospital dump. A hospital dump. That's where the narrator's head is. That's the point of no return he's talking about. The prank is part of a realization that everything, even the stuff meant to heal us, is just part of this decaying, disposable cycle.
And then we jump to the present. They aren't in a fancy hotel anymore. They're in a '68 Impala, parked in a lot full of sprat cars. You know, those cheap, beat-up cars that are basically just waiting to be junked.
It's such a stark contrast to the whale secretion luxury we just saw. They're living in this graveyard of American consumerism. Plastic wood, plastic leather, plastic everything. It's that disposable world again. He even mentions the price on the windshield, $98. It looks like 89 cents from the inside. It's all an illusion of value.
But wait, look at why they're even in the car. They can't go home. Why? Because Marla showed up and threatened to call the police because the narrator apparently cooked her mother.
Wait, what? He actually did that? Well, he doesn't explicitly say he cooked her, but he's definitely implying it. He's just sitting there, letting her smash his house, pinning Reader's Digest magazines to the walls like some kind of ritualistic carnage.
I mean, if I were him, I'd probably just stay in the car too. But Tyler is actually making money now. He's got this Paper Street Soap Co. thing knowing they're selling bars of Tyler's burnt sugar soap to Nordstrom.
That's the disintegration in action. He's taking the very tools of consumerism soap, branding, wholesale orders, and using them to fund his own brand of chaos. He's turning the service industry into a legitimate, profitable rebellion. But there's this underlying tension. He's terrified. He says, just in case. Just in case Marla burns the house down. Just in case she buys a gun.
It's a midlife survival strategy. Don't build a fortress. Just build a way to run. He's not trying to protect his home. He's just trying to find a seat wide enough to sleep in.
And then he ends this section with this bizarre, almost poetic tangent about a brown recluse spider. A spider that doesn't just bite you, but injects enzymes that literally melt your flesh. It's like the book is saying, the world isn't just empty and hollow, it's also actively, chemically trying to dissolve you.
Ma'am, I think I need to go wash my hands. Or at least check my furniture for spiders.
We're back, and I think I need a moment. I've been sitting here staring at my notes, and the sheer casual horror of this next part it's a lot.
It's not even horror, man. It's just Tuesday for these two. They're sitting in a car, probably smelling like old upholstery and cheap beer, and Marla just shows up.
She doesn't even knock. She just stands at the door and yells, knock, knock, knock. It's so jarring. the narrator is just trying to exist, reading Reader's Digest, which, let's be honest, is already a sign of a dying soul, and she's just there with a FedEx package.
And the package is? Okay, I was not prepared for this. She opens it, and it's just white stuff. Everywhere. Polystyrene peanuts flying around like snow.
And then she says it. This isn't crap. This is my mother, so back off. I had to read that twice. She's literally delivering her mother's body fat in a sandwich bag?
It's the most Fight Club thing ever. It's not even a person anymore, it's just white stuff for the freezer.
But wait, look at the logic here. She's using it for cosmetic surgery. She says, lips shrink with age. This can be fixed with a collagen injection. And then he explains the science of it. It's so grotesque, but also strangely analytical. He says cheap collagen from beef fat is rejected by the body. It lasts 6 months, tops.
But the good stuff? The stuff that stays?
You have to suck it out of your own thighs. You purify it and you inject it back into your face. It is the expression of that deconstruction we were talking about. Taking the self, literally melting it down and reshaping it to fit a consumerist ideal of beauty.
And the collagen fund. She's been accumulating it, like a savings account. But instead of stocks, it's just bags of processed human thigh.
And then, the reveal. The narrator is trying to stop her from opening the freezer, but he slips, the bag breaks, and everything is covered in this greasy white sludge. And the narrator realizes with this terrifying clarity what Tyler has actually done.
Wait, did he?
He says, I realized what Tyler had done. He looks at the empty freezer. All that's left are 2 old flashlight batteries.
No way.
He says it right there. We boiled her. We boiled her mother. Soap.
Ugh. Oh God. The saponification thesis from earlier? It wasn't just a chemistry lesson. He actually used the human remains to make the product.
It's the logical extreme of their rebellion. They aren't just sabotaging the system. They are consuming the very people who belong to it. They are turning the human element into a commodity, literally. The chaos in that kitchen. Marla's slipping, screaming, "You boiled my mother!" And he's just trying to find his footing on the linoleum, clutching a colorful Indian skirt. It's pure, unadulterated madness.
It's like a fever dream. But then, the book just shifts. It goes from this insane, soapy murder scene back to a corporate office.
It's the whiplash. 1 second, we're witnessing the literal dissolution of a human being in a soap, and the next, the narrator is sitting at a desk, looking at an email about a product recall. And it's so sterile, in accordance with National Highway Traffic Safety Administration requirements. He's calculating the math. He mentions the formula again, A times B times C. He's comparing the cost of a recall against the cost of settling out of court.
It's so chilling how he talks about this teratogenic chemical in leather tanning. A chemical that causes birth defects in the third world, but since no one is calling the Department of Transportation, he just moves on.
It's like the violence in the kitchen and the coldness of the corporate office are the same thing. One is loud and bloody, the other is quiet and bureaucratic, but both are just managing decay. Exactly. Whether it's boiling a mother into soap or ignoring a chemical that causes mutations, it's all just part of that disposable world where nothing, not even life, has intrinsic value beyond its cost-benefit analysis.
Man, I think I'm done for the night. I need to go sit in a dark room and pretend I don't know how soap is made.
Same here, Paco. Same here. We're spiraling. Let's take 5, shuffle the deck, and see if Paco can survive a round of Munchkin without losing his soul to a super bad.
Hey, my soul was much more resilient than my ego. Now, pass me that goblin card. Alright, back to the madness. And that's a wrap on the finale. I think my brain is actually leaking out of my ears.
Honestly, Paco, I'm right there with you. It's heavy. But I think you needed to end on this note, to close the loop. It's just so much wreckage. But there's something about this, opening this specific moment of the corporate self meeting the primitive self, that makes the whole destruction feel inevitable.
It's the perfect start for a midlife crisis, isn't it? The narrator is literally falling apart, and his boss is just worried about, what, upholstery?
Exactly. Look at how he starts. He's running the numbers. He's talking about this massive product recall, 6,700 cars, and he's calculating the cost of silence. He's literally saying, we can pay off a few grieving families before the lawsuits get too expensive. It's so cold. It's that corporate math. Cost of repairs versus cost of settlements. It's like everything is just a line item in a ledger.
And then, bam, the insomnia hits. He says the insomnia came back, and suddenly the whole world is just standing at the edge of his grave waiting to spit in it. That is such a visceral way to describe burnout. It's like feeling the universe is actively mocking your existence.
It ties back to that idea of the disposable world he mentions later. He's living in his vacuum. And then look at how he describes his boss. This isn't some grand villain. He's just a middle-aged guy with a work callus and a dream of a trailer park in Arizona. It's so pathetic, isn't it? He's staring at this guy, and he can see the whole corporate machine in him, the starched shirts, the Tuesday hair appointments. He's looking at a man who has already surrendered to the system.
But then, and this is where it gets wild, the boss walks in with a piece of paper, and he's reading the rules.
Right, and he's literally giggling. He's reading the first and second rules of Fight Club like it's some funny little prank. Don't tell anyone about Fight Club. And the narrator is just sitting there with this literal hole in his cheek, blood and all. Wait, did you catch that? He says the copier light is flashing like a paparazzi. And then he drops that heavy line. Insomnia makes everything feel distant. A copy of a copy of a copy.
That's the part that gets me. That's the existential dread right there. When you've lost so much of yourself to the grind that you don't even feel like a primary source anymore. You're just a photocopy of a person.
And then he just snaps. He starts describing this incredibly graphic, hyper-specific way a bullet would tear through his boss's head. He's talking about the Armalite AR-180 and how the bullet would bloom like a flower, spraying intestines like a bundle of sausages.
I mean, talk about a wait what moment. He's just sitting in a cubicle looking his boss in the eye and basically narrating his own violent fantasy.
It's terrifying, but you can see the liberation in it. He's using this extreme grotesque imagery to break the tension of the mundane. He's literally breaking the social contract in real time. He's even testing the limits. He starts making up rules. Rule 5. Fighters fight without shoes and bare-chested. He's forcing his boss to participate in the chaos.
And the funniest, saddest part, the boss just takes it. He's just staring. He's paralyzed by the sheer instability of it all.
But then we shift to the Sunday night. The Stay Sane group is gone. It's just him and Big Bob. And the good news is that the support group has been replaced by Fight Club. It's the perfect dark irony. The very thing designed to keep him sane and integrated into society has been dismantled and replaced by a ritual of pure self-destruction.
It's like he's saying you can't fix the soul with a support group. You could only find it by burning the whole thing down and seeing what's left in the ashes.
And then, Tyler is back to making soap on Paper Street. The cycle just starts again. Well, I think we've done enough for one night. My head is even spinning.
Mine too. Let's go get some food. Somewhere that doesn't serve sausages that look like intestines. Okay, I'm back. I thought we were done, but I couldn't stop thinking about that copy of a copy line. It was haunting me.
It's the fragmentation. It's what happens when the self becomes a series of processed, sterilized layers. But look, we're picking up right in the middle of the chaos. The Fight Club is still a rumor, a myth. Big Bob is there, and he's basically saying the rules weren't written by a person, but by a ghost named Tyler Durden. I've never seen him myself, Big Bob says. It's so eerie. This figure, Tyler, he's becoming this urban legend. And then the text just shifts. Suddenly, we're at the Regent Hotel.
And there she is, Marla. And she's a mess. She calls the narrator to her because she needs him to check her for lumps.
Right, she's found something in her chest. But look at the way he describes her lifestyle. She's essentially a ghost inhabiting a hotel room, eating food ordered by neighbors who are already dead. It's that disposable world again, but even more decayed. It's heartbreaking. She has no insurance, no way to tell the people she loves because she doesn't want to frighten them. She's carrying this secret, physical weight, and she's using the narrator to be her witness.
But the narrator, he's not even being a friend, he's being a technician. He's palpating her skin inch by inch, and then he drops this incredibly grim philosophy. He says, in nature, old animals don't exist because they die before they can grow old.
Yeah, he's using Marla's fear to justify this brutal Darwinian view of the world. He says our culture has distracted the meaning of death. that this whole idea of aging and sickness is an ugliness that nature doesn't permit. It's so much more intense than just a health scare. It's like he's trying to strip away the human part of her and find the animal. And then the conversation takes this incredibly bizarre, almost surreal turn.
Oh man, he starts telling her about a wart. A wart on his genitals.
It's classic Palahniuk, the most traumatic, humiliating moment of his life being poked with liquid nitrogen by medical students while they take Polaroids of his foot is just an anecdote he uses to distract her from her fear. But wait, look at the way he tells it. He's not even talking about the war. He's talking about the disconnection. He says the doctors acted like he didn't even exist. There was only this foot. He was just a collection of parts to them.
That's the horror of the service industry or the medical industry, isn't it? You're just a body part to be processed. And then get this, the student tells him that this new kind of cancer is spreading, that you just wake up one day and it covers you.
It's terrifying because it's so casual. It's just another error in the system, and the narrator, he just absorbs it. He carries this memory of being 10 minutes of cancer as a badge of honor. He uses it to process his own mortality. But here's the real kicker, the part that actually gave me chills. He's sitting there touching her, and he says, "I stopped because, for a moment, neither I nor Marla existed in the room."
That's it. That's the entire book in one sentence. The total dissolution of the self. He's not even a person anymore. He's just a point of contact in a void.
It ties back to everything we've been saying. The midlife crisis isn't about finding a new hobby. It's about the moment you realize the you've been cultivating is completely gone. You're just a sensory experience in a room with a stranger. And then, to try and fix the mood, he tells her this insane story about an Abbey advice columnist and a husband who makes his wife lie perfectly still in an ice bath for 10 years.
I mean, how does that help? Hey, I know you think you might have breast cancer, but let me tell you about this woman who's been frozen for a decade. It's absurd.
But it's not absurd to him. It's a way to avoid the truth. He ends this section by saying, "We don't want to know practically anything about the people we love. Because if we knew the truth, the real, raw, terrifying truth, we wouldn't be able to live with the weight of it. We'd have to face the fact that we're all just waiting to be eaten by the young and the strong."
Man, I need a drink. And maybe a very large, very thick blanket.
Let's take a break. We'll be back to see if the narrator finally admits he's actually terrified of his own shadow.
Okay, I'm back. I think I just needed to shake off that last bit. That image of the narrator just narrating a massacre to his boss? Still stuck in my head.
It's heavy, Paco. But look, we're moving deeper into the wreckage now. We're back with Marla, and the narrator is actually explaining why he used to love those support groups. And it's not because they were supportive in a nice way. He says it's because when people think you're dying, they actually listen to you. Right. He says they stop talking about their bank problems or their hair, and they actually look at you. They start talking with you. And after the conversation, you both feel different.
That is so dark. It's like the only way to get human connection in this consumerist hellscape is to even be a walking corpse. You have to be a tragedy to be a person.
And Marla's just living this extreme version of that. He describes her finding these lumps in her chest, and instead of some dramatic scene, she just shows up in the kitchen with both legs stuck in one half of her pantyhose.
Wait, what? One leg?
Yeah, she's literally half-dressed, acting like a mermaid, making these ridiculous jokes about guys pretending to ride motorcycles on the toilet. It's her defense mechanism. She says her whole philosophy is the possibility of dying at any moment. The tragedy isn't the death, it's that it doesn't happen fast enough to let you escape.
That's heavy. But then he takes us into this clinic, and man, this is bleak. He describes these moms and kids in a waiting room. They look like spoiled oranges or bananas.
It's visceral. He says the kids have these dark circles under their eyes, and their teeth are just shards of bone poking through their gums. And he ties it back to the lack of healthcare. This is the disposable world again. If you don't have insurance, this is the end. No families, no support, just a room smelling of vomit, urine, and vinegar.
It's like the whole system is just rot. And Marla? She just decides no, and no to all of it. She just steals jeans from the laundromat, sells them for $15, and buys herself some good pantyhose that won't run.
It's that survival instinct. She's literally scavenging the ruins of capitalism to keep herself together. But then, she starts working at the morgue. And that's where it gets, well, surreal. She's handling the prepaid clients, people who have paid for their burials before they're even dead.
And she's just roasting them. She's telling people, don't flatter yourself. There's no way your ashes will fit in this tiny urn.
She's facing the absurdity of death with pure, unadulterated sarcasm. But the narrator, he says her heart looks just like his face, like all the shit and filth in the world, like a used piece of toilet paper that nobody even wants to use as recycling. That is such a brutal way to describe himself. He's completely lost his sense of value. He's just waste.
But then things get even weirder. She tells him the dead are calling her, like literally. She's at a bar, the phone rings, she picks it up, and it's just dead silence.
It's like the boundary between the living and the dead is thinning. And then suddenly, we're back at the house on Paper Street. The detectives are calling about the condo explosion. And Tyler is right there, whispering in the narrator's ear while he's on the phone. This is where the self-destruction thesis really starts to take hold. Tyler is whispering that violence is just a natural part of his development toward tragedy and decay.
Dude, the detective is asking about homemade dynamite, and the narrator is just lying there saying it was a refrigerator malfunction.
It's so wild. The detective mentions how they used a chisel and liquid Freon to break the lock, and Tyler is just egging him on. He's telling the narrator that the person who destroyed his property was actually liberating his spirit. It's that idea from earlier that you have to lose everything to find freedom. The narrator is literally watching his physical life, his furniture, his lamps, his very identity be blown up, and he's just letting it happen.
He even says the plates in the cupboard were part of me. The television was part of me. That's what they wanted to blow up. He's mourning his stuff like it was his actual limbs.
Because in this world, the stuff is the self. But then, look at this shift. We move from the explosion to Tyler's past. We find out he used to work for the Film Projection Union. He was splicing film.
And is so much more destructive than just a bomb. He was splicing pornographic friend sodomy, oral sex, all of it into every single movie. Every comedy, every drama, every romance.
He was poisoning the copies. He was inserting this raw, primal reality into the polished, mass-produced fiction of cinema. And he did it because he had nothing to lose. He was the last screw in the machine, the trash under people's feet.
It's an act of sabotage. If you can't change the movie, you might as well make it impossible to watch without seeing the truth.
Man, we really are just watching the whole world unravel, aren't we? Let's take a breather before the nihilism fully consumes us. Who's up for a quick round of Munchkin?
Only if I get to play a supervillain. I've already got the costume ready.
Alright, we're back. Alright, we're back. We left the quiet, introspective moments behind. We are officially deep in the wreckage.
Yeah, wreckage is a pretty polite way to put it, Seth. We're basically watching a man set himself on fire just to see if the smoke looks cool.
It's more than that, though. It's calculated. Look at how the narrator starts this section. He's mirroring Tyler. He says, Tyler and I were looking more and more like each other. He even mentions the same hole in the cheek. Right, and that physical decay, the loss of sensation in their skin, it's violence. It's the erasure of the self. He's losing the corporate person he used to be. He's becoming a copy of Tyler's chaos.
But man, the audacity. He's sitting in this manager's office, and he doesn't just quit. He goes full terrorist. He tells the manager he's been, well, he lists it. Pee in the soup, farts in the creme brulee.
It's visceral. He's using his own body as a weapon of disgust. And look at the leverage he uses. He tells the manager, you can hang me, you can drag me through the streets, but the Pressman Hotel will forever be known as the place where the world's wealthiest eat food with urine. He's weaponizing the very thing he's destroying, his reputation.
But wait, look at the part with the union rep. This is the part that always gets me. The guy is literally being beaten into the floor, and Tyler is laughing.
It's because he has nothing left to lose. The text says it clearly, you have everything to lose, and I have nothing. That's the terrifying core of his philosophy. It's about the power found in total insolvency. He tells the rep, beat me into shit, but you'll still send me the checks. He's holding the system's own rules hostage.
And then the narrator takes it to the next level in the office. He stops talking and calls the newspaper to frame it as a political protest. He wants to be Robin Hood of the service industry.
But then, the violence turns inward. He punches himself in the middle of the office. It's a performance of self-destruction. He sees the manager doesn't like his look, so he breaks his own nose. He's literally shattering his curated face to force the manager to react.
He is literally crawling across a Persian rug covered in his own blood, clawing at the manager's expensive trousers like a monster, and all he can do is giggle and whisper, "Please."
It's so sick. He's playing the victim and the predator at the same time. He's using the monstrous version of himself to extort the very people he claims to hate. And it works. He's a man having a breakdown, creating a new terrifying way to exist. He's transitioning from a person to a project.
Speaking of projects, we jump to chapter 16, and the scale it explodes. A giant 5-story smiling face painted on a skyscraper, eyes on fire.
It's massive. The city is terrified. The newspapers are calling it Project Mayhem. And there's that classic Tyler move. The narrator wants answers, but he reminds us of the first rule. Do not ask questions regarding Project Mayhem.
It's so much like that thing Tyler said about the pistol. He's not the explosion, he's just the barrel directing the blast.
It's a deconstruction. He's not even a person anymore. He's just the direction the chaos is moving. Which, honestly, after reading that, I think I need to go clean my jaw harp. I feel a bit unhinged. Okay, we are officially entering the bureaucracy of chaos phase. I was reading through the news section, and honestly, it's bizarre. Tyler shows up to this committee of mayhem with a gun and a phone book.
A phone book? I mean, talk about retro. But look at how he organizes it. It's not random riots. He's got a schedule. Mondays for arson, Tuesdays for raids, Wednesdays for disobedience. It's like a freaking corporate calendar, but for anarchy.
That's exactly what's so unsettling, Seth. He calls it anarchic bureaucracy. He's literally applying the same organizational structure that the disposable corporate world uses, but he's filling it with destruction. And the homework. That's the part that really gets me. He doesn't just tell them to go out and cause trouble. He tells them they have to go out and lose a fight. Specifically, find a stranger and let them beat you half to death.
Wait, what? Why would you want to lose?
Because he says it right there to allow him to feel, for the first time in his life, what it is to lose control. He's using violence as a ritual to strip away that curated, polite identity we were talking about earlier. He wants to break the person so the project can take over. It's psychological manipulation. And look at how he manages the tasks. He's literally playing a lottery with chaos. He pulls these slips of 90 text, tacked paper, dollars out of a box. Some are blank. Some are these insane, specific instructions. One minute you're just doing homework, the next you're drenching a fashion show in strawberry jam, or, God forbid, crashing a Jaguar into a fountain.
The Jaguar. That's the part that makes it feel so real. It's a specific, localized, terrifying event, rather than some vague idea of mayhem. And the scariest part? The narrator is sitting in that dark basement looking at the faces of the guys around him, and he has no idea which one of them just did it.
It's the erasure of individual accountability. He's building a collective where no one is a person anymore, just a part of the machine. And then he moves to the weapons. Right? The transition from strawberry jam to everyone buy a gun. This is where the anarchic bureaucracy gets lethal. He tells them to buy guns with cash, exchange them at the next meeting, and then report them as stolen.
It's brilliant in a totally sociopathic way. No questions asked. That's the first rule.
But look at how he describes the gun itself. He says it feels heavy, like a mountain or the sun had been compressed into that tiny piece of metal. And then he gives this absolutely deranged lecture on the mechanics of a bullet. He says the trigger releases the firing pin, the pin hits the primer, and the explosion directs the projectile just like a launch tube directs a rocket, or, well, he compares it to the direction of a urethra.
Oh man, there he goes. He can't help himself. He has to make the mechanics of death as visceral and biological as possible.
It's part of that same thread we saw earlier, the idea that everything, even violence, is just a raw, physical process. No morality, just physics and biology. But then the tone shifts. It gets much darker. We go back to the narrator, and he's back in the fight club. He's fighting a newcomer, an angel-faced kid. And he says he chose him because he was having insomnia again and wanted to destroy something beautiful.
That's the most honest, terrifying line in the whole book. He's not even fighting for a cause anymore. He's just fighting because he's hollowed out and he wants to see something break.
And look at the physical cost. He's hitting this kid until his own knuckles bleed from the kid's teeth. He's literally breaking himself to break the other person. And it's that level of ferocity that scares even Tyler. Tyler realizes the Fight Club isn't enough. He realizes he needs Project Mayhem. The narrator says he wanted to destroy everything. The Amazon rainforest, the ozone layer, the whales.
He literally says, I wanted the whole world to reach the breaking point with me.
It's the expression of that midlife deconstruction we've been discussing. It's about leaving a job or a marriage, and the total nihilistic urge to pull the plug on the entire species because you've lost your connection to it. It's heavy. I think I need to step outside for a second. The air feels a bit thick.
Just don't go looking for any strawberry jam on the sidewalk, okay? I'm not ready for a fashion show ride.
Okay, we are officially entering the durability of chaos phase. I was reading through this new section, and honestly, it's bizarre. The scale of the destruction is shifting from personal violence to something planetary.
Planetary. Yeah, that's a bit of an understatement, Seth. He's talking about cleaning up the entire human mess.
But look at the way he frames it. He says, don't think of it as extinction. Think of it as downsizing. Downsizing. That is such a perfect biting use of corporate jargon. He's taking the language of the very system he's trying to burn down and using it to justify the end of civilization.
It's savage. He says for thousands of years, humans have just fucked up this planet, littered on it, and defiled it. And now, suddenly, history is demanding that he is the one to pick up the bill. He's acting like a cosmic janitor, just crushing tin cans and accounting for every drop of used motor oil.
It's that same sense of resentment we heard earlier, that heavy, exhausted weight of being responsible for a wonderful world that's already broken. But then, it turns so dark, he describes the fight with that angel-faced kid. Yeah, that part is hard to read. He says he held the kid's head in one hand, like a baby or a football, and just worked the kid's face with his knuckles, until the skin turned black and stuck to the bone.
Man, that's visceral. It's not even a fight anymore. It's an execution of an idea. He says, I wanted to breathe the smoke of burning fires. He's looking for a funeral pyre for everything.
And it's more than the violence. It's the destruction of culture, he says. I wanted to burn the Louvre. I wanted to take a hammer to the Greek collection in the British Museum and wipe myself with the Mona Lisa. I mean, okay, that's a bit much, even for him.
Right? But look at the logic. He says, from now on, this world belongs to me, and only me. The ancients are long in their graves. He's claiming ownership of the ruins.
But then we see the why. This is the core of Project Mayhem. He says they wanted to free the world from the burden of history. And look how he describes the vision. This isn't just anarchy. It's a planned ecological reset. He talked about planting potatoes in the ruins of a golf course, or hunting elk near the rubble of the Rockefeller Center. He's imagining a world where civilization is just overgrown.
Like a post-apocalyptic garden. He talks about skyscrapers being turned into giant totems, and people living in zoos locked in cages to stay safe from wolves.
It's a total reversal of the domesticated life we talked about at the start of the book. No more IKEA furniture, no more climate control, just leather clothing and vines as thick as an arm. But wait, look at the official part of the plan. This is where the anarchic bureaucracy hits its peak. He says waste recycling and speed limits are total bullshit. He compares them to people trying to quit smoking while on their deathbeds.
That's such a Tyler Durden line. He's saying you can't fix the symptoms. You have to destroy the whole organism.
And he says it plainly. Project Mayhem will save the world. An artificially induced dark age. A period of hibernation. He's literally proposing a global coma to let the Earth recover. It's the most extreme version of self-destruction we've seen yet. It's the individual and the species. But then, the text shifts back to the mundane, which is almost more unsettling.
Yeah, back to the office. The boss is there, dropping papers on the desk. No tie anymore, just the blue tie on the boss. And the narrator's just sitting there thinking about shooting the guy's abdomen with a large caliber weapon.
And he's not even sure if he's just kidding. He's checking for skeletons in the closet by looking at things like faulty car seats. He's looking for the cracks in the infrastructure. And then there's the list of items for the recruits. It's so regimented. 2 black shirts, black pants, black boots, a white towel, a foam mattress. It's like a uniform for a cult of chaos.
And the money. You have to carry $500 in your boot just to pay for your own funeral, because if you die and don't have the cash, your body will be prey for medical students. Ugh, God, bad is bleak. Even the death is a transaction.
But look at the end of the passage, the recruitment process. They see a guy standing on their porch with his gear, and Tyler just rejects him. Too young. And the way they do it is so calculated. If you're too young, too fat, too old, too white, or too black, they just send you away.
He says it's how they tested people in Buddhist monasteries for quadrillions of years.
It's a test of pure stubborn will. If you stay at the door for 3 days without food, then you're in. And the narrator, he even hits the kid with a broom. He tries to drive him away, yelling that he's too young, but the kid just stays there.
It's terrifying. The project is already working. The people are already being forged.
I think we should take a break. I need to go check if my car seat is properly tested. I'm feeling a little paranoid. I think my brain needs to step away from the logistics of cult-issued footwear for a second.
Agreed. Let's go grab some water and pretend we are being recruited.
All right, we're back. All right, we're back. I'm still a little on edge, personally.
Only a little? Seth, you've been pacing the studio like you're expecting a tactical strike on the snack table.
It's the text, Paco. It's heavy, but we's moving into the meat of it now. The Project Mayhem era. The narrator is no longer just a lonely insomniac. He's part of a machine. A machine that looks more like a hive of insects. It's terrifying. Exactly. Look at how he describes the recruitment. He starts with this good cop, bad cop routine. He says Tyler comes out and just rejects people. The guy has to go. Or even worse, the new guy is too old to be doing this here.
It's like a high-stakes version of a club promoter at a shitty nightclub. But instead of you not on the list, it's you're too middle-aged for the revolution.
But look at the physical reality of the house. It's not a home anymore. He says he comes home and there are guys just waiting on the porch every single day. And he doesn't even look at them. He just shuts the door. It's that dissociation we talked about earlier, the disposable world feeling. He's so used to the transient, temporary nature of people that he stopped seeing them as humans. He's just part of the furniture. And then he mentions the beds. 72 beds in the basement.
Man, that's a lot of roommates.
And it's the stuff too. The house is a factory now. He says the first floor is entirely a kitchen and a soap factory. And there's this grotesque imagery of these red rubberized bags filled with liquid watery fat coming back from nowhere. It's so visceral. It feels like the house is breathing or even sweating.
Wait, did you catch that part about the money? He says Tyler gave him $500 in his shoe. Money for my funeral.
Right. It ties back to that earlier claim that everything we achieve eventually turns to dust. The funeral money isn't even a metaphor here. It's a literal cash reserve for his end. It's so nihilistic.
But here's the kicker. The way he describes the space monkeys working. They aren't even people anymore. He calls them human automatons, trained monkeys. They're just moving through tasks, making soap, planting gardens, killing slugs. They don't have identities. They're just cells in a larger decaying organism.
It's a complete deconstruction of the self. They've traded their names for tasks. And look at the garden. This is where it gets weirdly beautiful, but also deeply unsettling. They're adding hair from barbershops and manure to the soil. They're planting herbs like basil and mint in this kaleidoscopic pattern.
It sounds like a psychedelic trip, but it's happening in the middle of a domestic breakdown.
It is, but notice the violence underneath. They're killing slugs and snails with flashlights at night. There's this intense, ritualistic focus on nutrients, iron from blood, phosphorus from bone meal. It's like they're trying to force life to grow in the middle of a graveyard. And the chaos is spreading. He mentions a group in black hitting a luxury car dealership, just smashing bumpers with baseball bats until the airbags explode everywhere. It's the loss of control we discussed. The purpose of the chaos isn't just destruction. It's to force people to feel something. Even the vandals at the ATMs filling them with Vaseline and vanilla pudding. It's absurd. It's ridiculous.
I mean, I'd pay to see that, but it's so hollow.
That's the point. Even the peaceful moments with Marla walking through the garden, talking about plants they're haunted, There's always an astronaut monkey trailing behind them, picking up their discarded cigarette butts to erase any trace they were ever there. They're erasing their own existence as they live it. Which leads us right to the final, most brutal blow in this passage. The narrator comes home and the entire first floor is just people. Sitting on the floor, and one of them is reading aloud. And he says, "None of you possess the uniqueness or beauty of a snowflake. You are nothing more than decomposing organic matter. You are all part of the same compost heap."
Ouch.
It's a rejection of the individual. The middle-aged man trying to find meaning, only to be told he's just fertilizer. Okay, I'm back. I've been sitting here just staring at the wall, trying to process that last bit. The compost heap line. It's heavy, man. It's heavy.
It's bleak, Seth. It's just straight up bleak. But look, the narrator, he's moving through this house like a ghost. He's making a sandwich. He's literally just trying to exist while this whole cult of chaos is happening around him.
But even the sandwich isn't him anymore. He says, "I've already read this, I typed this text." He's detached. He's looking at these space monkeys and he's like, "Don't mind me, I'm just a big pile of shit." That's the radical deconstruction, right? He's not even fighting the loss of identity. He's participating in the mockery of it. And then look at this. He mentions his boss. He thinks even his boss has probably read this. He's saying the corporate world and this underground anarchy are reading the same script.
It's all the same flatness, no hierarchy, no white or black, rich or poor, just mass. Wait. I love how he just wanders. He's looking for Tyler. He goes from club to club, and every single time, there's some stranger standing in a circle of light reading Tyler's words. It's like Tyler's become this viral decentralized deity.
It's spooky. It's like a religious fever. And the way people treat him, they see the hole in his cheek, the bruised yellowing skin, and they call him Sir. It's the prestige of the wounded. He's the only one with the proof of the connection. But Luctus is where it gets truly unstable. He says he lives with Tyler, but Tyler hasn't been home in ages. He's physically there, but he's a ghost.
And the rumors. Is it true Tyler is building an army? Does he sleep only 1 hour a night? It's like the tabloid version of an apocalypse.
But the scale is changing. The Project Mayhem meetings are moving to bigger basements because the committee's arson, raids, disinformation, they're just multiplying. It's out of control. It's exactly what we were saying about the disposable world. The individuals are gone, replaced by these specialized, expanding cells. And then we get back to that garden, the one we were just talking about.
The smell of sage and geranium.
Right. He's walking barefoot with Marla. It's almost romantic, but then he sees it. In the dirt. Something glistening. He thinks it's gold.
I thought it was a treasure. I was like, finally some loot.
It wasn't gold, Paco. It was a human jawbone. A jawbone with gold and silver fillings, half buried in the hair, the manure, the blood, and the bone meal. Oh God. He doesn't even report it. He doesn't scream. He just pushes it deeper into the dirt. He hides it so Marla won't see. He's literally burying the evidence of human violence into the very thing they're using to grow life.
That is dark, even for us.
And then the scene shifts. Suddenly we're in his office. Responsibility, determination. God, even the name of his department sounds like a death sentence. It's that corporate sterility again. All glass walls, all vertical blinds, all gray carpet. He describes the internet ports as tiny grave markers. It's a graveyard of connectivity. He's trapped in a labyrinth of plastic.
He's talking about the spiritual revolution. He says our generation didn't get a great war or a depression, so we have to declare our own. A war against culture.
Tyler tells him to get out to the parking lot. There are guys waiting for you. And the narrator? He's still half asleep. He doesn't even know if he's dreaming Tyler or if Tyler is dreaming him.
I mean, if someone called me and told me there were guys waiting for me in a Cadillac, I'd be checking my pulse too.
But look at the sensory detail. My hands smell like gasoline. That's the tether. The smell of the destruction is already on him. He's physically part of the explosion before it even happens. He finds this mechanic a tall, skeletal guy who has swapped the plates on a black car. He can start anything with 2 wires. It's so primal, No keys, no codes, just raw electrical contact.
And the space monkeys are just sitting in the back seat, silent, watching. They are the audience for his escape.
But the most haunting part, the part that really gets me, is the way he describes the feeling of the club after the fight. He says even a week later, you can't help but speed. You're driving and the cars are swerving around you and people are flipping you off. And he says, it doesn't matter. You feel great. Because the consequence is gone. That's the point of the deconstruction. He has a cracked rib. He might have internal bleeding. He's literally physically falling apart. But he's relaxed. The fear of the world has been replaced by the numbness of the void.
And then we see the fighters, the skeletons. The guys from Narcotics Anonymous, they don't fight to win, they fight until they become mincemeat.
The imagery is so heavy, the sweat smelling like fried chicken, the sound of knuckles hitting ribs, the light hitting the muscles and tendons. It's not a sport, it's a biological breakdown. They are burning through their lives at 1,000 miles an hour. It's like they found a way to be alive by choosing exactly how they die. And then the fight ends. 20 minutes of pure rhythmic violence, and one of them just collapses.
And the lights stay on, the world keeps spinning, and we're still just sitting here, listening to the sound of the impact.
It's the rejection of the consumerist identity we talked about at the start. Your name doesn't matter. Your problems don't matter. Your age doesn't matter. I think I need to step away from the page for a second. That last image, it's just lingering.
Yeah, let's take 5. My brain needs to go somewhere less explosive.
Okay, we're back. All right, we're back. And I think we need to take a breath before we dive into this. The air in here feels heavy.
Heavy is an understatement, man. I feel like I've been sitting in a room full of smoke for the last hour.
It's more than smoke. It's the weight of everything we just talked about. The loss of control. The disintegration. Exactly. And that's why we're here today. We're picking up the pieces of this wreckage. We're looking at the moment where the curated self, that polished, corporate, IKEA furnished identity, literally crashes into a truck. We're looking at the radical deconstruction of a man.
A man who was apparently celebrating his birthday with a cake and a car crash. Talk about a way to blow out the candles.
Let's look at the text. We start mid-chaos. A mechanic driving a car, looking at a truck barreling toward them. He asks, what would you want to do before you die? And he's smiling. He's literally looking at these little astronaut monkeys on the dashboard and saying, make your wishes, quick. 5 seconds separate us from non-existence. That is terrifying. 5 seconds from non-existence. There's no hesitation there. No, I should call my mother, or I regret my career choices. Just wishes.
And look at what they wish for. Learn to ride horses, get a tattoo, build a house. It's so mundane, it's so small.
It's the last gasps of a dying ego, Paco. But then, the crash happens. The narrator describes it, the lights, the impact, the sensation of being thrown. And then he says something that really ties back to that feeling of disconnection we've been discussing. He says, we are dead. I want to die right now. Who am I compared to Tyler? I am helpless. I am stupid. That's the moment, isn't it? The total collapse of the self. He's looking at his life, his pitiful life, his shitty job, his Swedish furniture, and he's realizing it's all hollow.
Wait, look at this part. This is the weirdest, most surreal beat. He's lying there, his head is on the mechanic's knee, there's blood, or is it frosting? And the mechanic just looks at him and says, happy birthday.
It's absurd. It's pure chaos. The line between a violent trauma and a birthday party is completely erased. But look at what he says right after. He says, I realize I don't want to pick my head up. He's accepting the wreckage. He's just existing in the debris.
And then we jump. The crash is over, but the work is just beginning. We're driving again. This time, it's purposeful. They're hunting.
Yeah, and this is where the Project Mayhem ideology really starts to bleed into the narrative. The mechanic is driving this Cornish car, it's battered. The bumper is dragging and he starts speaking as Tyler. He's a mouthpiece for this revolution. He's talking about the spiritual revolution. He says our generation didn't get a Great War or a Depression, so we have to declare our own. A war against culture.
He says we have to teach people freedom by enslaving them. and teach them courage by scaring them.
That's a heavy claim. It's a paradox, isn't it? You can't find the core of who you are until the external world is stripped away by fear. It's brutal. But look at the actual goal here. It's literally stealing human fat.
I knew it was going to get gross.
It gets very visceral. They're going to a medical waste site. They're looking for fat from liposuction, the best, richest fat in the world, to make soap. They're going to take the literal excess of the wealthy and turn it into a product to sell back to them. It's like a twisted chemical version of Robin Hood. It's the redistribution of waste. They're turning the disposable parts of society into a weapon of commerce. And then the tone shifts again. We move from the grand cosmic plan of Project Mayhem to a single, lonely moment. The narrator is holding a gun to a man's head, Raymond Hesse.
And the narrator he's actually disappointed. He's not even mad about the crime. He's mad that the guy didn't say hello.
Exactly. Look at the phrasing. You didn't even say hello to me, and I said hello to you. He's criticizing the man's lack of social etiquette while threatening his life. It's so dehumanizing. The narrator says, "Money in your wallet doesn't matter, Raymond Hesse." He's trying to prove that there's something more profound than greed, but he's using a gun to prove it.
It's a middle-age crisis, isn't it? I have all this power to take your life. But I'm still lonely because you wouldn't acknowledge my greeting.
It's the hollow victory of the void. He's found his power, but he's lost his connection to everything else. He's just a part of the machine of chaos now. Okay, let's get into the thick of it. We're right in the middle of this interrogation. The narrator has a gun to Raymond Hesse's head, and he's being incredibly careful about it.
It's chilling. He's wearing a rubber glove. He wants the only thing left on the gun to be the dried tears of Raymond Hesse.
That is such a heavy, dark way to frame a crime. It's like he's trying to curate the grief. He's a collector of trauma. And look at how he observes Hesse. He notices his eyes are green like antifreeze. It's that same clinical detached dissociation we saw earlier. He's looking at a human being and seeing a chemical compound.
And the guy is just vibrating. He's rocking back and forth because the gun is too cold or too hot. He's literally physically reacting to the presence of death.
But the narrator, or whoever is behind this gun, starts digging through Hesse's wallet, and he finds more than money. He finds a photo of Hesse's parents. And this is where the cruelty peaks. He forces Hesse to look at the smiling faces of his parents while the barrel of the gun is pressed against his skin. He's weaponizing Hesse's own love against him.
That part. A magnificent, wonderful miracle of death awaited you. He says that. He tells him that in 1 second, he'll be an inanimate object, and his parents will have to call a dentist to identify him because his face will be gone.
It's so visceral. He's stripping away the personhood before the bullet even leaves the chamber. He's making him inanimate while he's still breathing. But then, and this is the weirdest pivot, the narrator starts playing a game. He tells him, "Lie to me, make something up. I don't care. I have a gun."
I mean, if someone is holding a gun to my head, lying is pretty much the only survival strategy I've got.
Right, but the narrator forces him to fill out an application. He asks, who does Raymond Hesse want to be when he grows up? And after all that terror, Hesse just says, "Take me home. I just want to go home." It's so heartbreaking. All this grand revolutionary posturing, and the victim just wants the most basic human thing, safety. Home.
But wait, look at how the narrator pushes. He won't let him off that easy. He demands a lie. He demands a future. In Hesse, he comes up with veterinarian.
It's a beautiful, desperate moment of improvisation. The narrator even mocks him, saying, "Too much studying." But then, he softens he softens in his own terrifying way. He tells Hesse, "Go back to school. If you wake up alive tomorrow morning, you'll figure out how to get back there." He's literally threatening him with a future. "I'll kill you if you end up with a crappy job, just earning enough for a piece of cheese and the right to stare at the TV."
That's the real tragedy, isn't it? The narrator isn't just threatening death. He's threatening a life of mediocrity. He's threatening the very standardized existence he's trying to destroy.
And then the scene breaks. We move into this fragmented, wandering state. The narrator is moving through airports, Sky Harbor, O'Hare, Memphis. It's like he's a ghost haunting his own travels. He's looking for Tyler, but he's looking for him in the most fragmented way possible. He's checking bars, looking for guys with bruised faces, guys who recognize him as one of their own because of the hole in his cheek.
It says he carries the driver's licenses of 12 human victims with him, just in case he happens to run into Tyler.
That is such a powerful, terrifying image of his new identity. He isn't a person anymore. He's a walking archive of the people he's destroyed. And it's so lonely. He's in these tiny lives, tiny soaps, tiny airplane seats, tiny lives. He's traveling through a world of disposable people, just like he said at the beginning of the book.
But here's the kicker, the wait, what moment. He goes into a bar in Seattle, and the bartender looks at him and says, "Welcome back, Mr. Durden. Didn't you stop by last week?"
And the narrator, he has no memory of it. He's saying, "I've never been here in my life." But the bartender insists. The narrator is living a life he doesn't remember living. It ties back to that claim he made earlier about waking up in a different place in time and perhaps waking up as a different person. He's losing his grip on his own timeline. The insomnia, the trauma, the Project Mayhem, it's all dissolving his continuity. He's not even the protagonist of his own memory anymore. He's just a vessel.
I am the mouth of Tyler. I am his hands. He's not even a person. He's just a limb of a larger, much more violent body.
Okay, we're moving deeper into the fog now. The narrator is no longer just wandering. He is being haunted. And not by a ghost, but by a version of himself that is much, much more awake than he is.
And honestly, I don't blame him for being terrified. The guy is in a motel in Seattle, 3 in the morning, and he's trying to figure out if he's even a real person anymore.
It's the loss of privacy. That's what strikes me. He goes into a bar, and the bartender isn't just serving him a drink. He's reading him like a biography. Recant here, you Mr. Durden. He's a celebrity of the underground. Right? And look at the way the narrator describes his own body. He's found this birthmark, a dark red shape like Australia with New Zealand. And he's horrified because he thinks only 2 people know about it, Marla and his father.
But now even the strangers in the bar know. It's like he's got a neon sign on his leg.
It's more than that, Paco. He says, everyone knows about a cancer I never even had. Because the Project Mayhem has turned his personal, private vulnerabilities into part of the legend. They've taken his physical self and turned it into propaganda. And then we get this phone call. This is the most fractured, desperate moment in the whole passage. He's calling Marla from the motel, and he's literally questioning his own reality. He asks, did we ever, sleep together, make love?
And Marla's reaction is classic. I will kill you. She's not even surprised by the chaos. She's just exhausted by him.
But listen to what she says right after. She calls him a complete bastard. She says, one moment you love me, the next you can't even see me. One moment you're saving my life, the next you're making soap out of my mother. That's the line. That's the one. It ties everything together. The violence, the soap, the consumer's recycling of human remains. It's all just part of the same domestic horror.
And it's more than a metaphor, is it? He's literally checking himself. He says, I pinch myself. He's trying to find where the real him ends and the Tyler part begins.
And then he mentions the support group, the testicular cancer group. He says, that's where you saved my wife. But then he immediately corrects himself. Tyler saved her life. He can't even claim his own heroism anymore. He's delegating his very soul to Tyler. And he's looking at the wound in his own cheek, that literal hole in his face. And he's using his finger to twist it just to feel the pain, to prove he's still capable of sensation.
It's like he's trying to use pain as an anchor so he doesn't drift away into the void.
But the void is winning. He says, I need to sleep. I need to find Tyler. I need to sleep. And then it happens. The transition. He falls asleep and he wakes up to Tyler standing in the dark by his bed. And Tyler isn't there to comfort him. He's there to shake him. Wake up, wake up.
And the reason? It's not a nightmare. It's a progress report. Tyler has been out doing things while the narrator was unconscious.
He tells him about the police commissioner, the whole committee of mayhem plan. They didn't just protest. They went after the man's, his dignity. They used rubber bands. They used a knife.
I can't. The imagery of the space monkeys swarming the commissioner in a park. It's so clinical, yet so barbaric. One monkey held the radio, another stripped his training pants. It's a ritual of humiliation.
And it's so efficient. The attack took 3 minutes less than we planned. They treat a violent assault like a well-oiled corporate merger. But look at the logic Tyler uses. He's justifying a crime. He says, "The people you're trying to stop are the ones you depend on your whole life. The people who wash your clothes, cook your food, run the telephone exchanges."
He's saying the very infrastructure of our civilized lives is the weapon that will be used to dismantle it.
Exactly. He's identifying the invisible workers as the very power. The plumbers, the drivers, the insurance adjusters. They are the unwanted children of history. And the narrator, he's just sitting there in the dark listening to this, and he says, "All I know is I need to sleep."
He's so tired, he's physically and existentially spent. He's been awake for so long trying to find a truth that doesn't involve a knife or a rubber band, and he's
lost the ability to even distinguish between a dream and a memory. He says, "Everything I'm telling you is not a dream." But we've seen him lose his grip on his own name, his own history, even his own skin. He's just a passenger in a body that belongs to a revolution. A revolution that's running on the fuel of human fat and broken identities. It's hard to know where to go from here. The boundaries are gone. The person is gone. There's only the project. Let's step away from the wreckage for a second. I think we all need to digest that.
Oh, speaking of digesting, the Filipino food is actually at the door. Okay, we're back.
Okay, we're back. And I think we need to take a breath. The air in here feels a lot heavier after that last section.
Heavy is an understatement, man. It's like the walls are closing in. You can feel the momentum of the project just swallowing everything up.
It's more than the project, though. It's the loss of the person. The narrator, he's not even a person anymore. He's a vessel. Exactly. And this is where the deconstruction we keep talking about turns into something much more terrifying. It's the literal erasure of the self beyond tearing down a corporate identity. Look at how he describes the aftermath of the commissioner incident. He says the space monkeys basically just tucked him in and sent him home. His most honorable excellency returns home terrified, but unharmed.
It's so casual, like they just finished a hit and now they're just playing valet. But look at what Tyler says right after. He says more and more guys who have nothing left to lose but Fight Club, are being pulled into Project Mayhem.
Because the club isn't a hobby anymore. It's a recruitment center. Right. And it leads us to this incredibly intimate, almost haunting moment. He says, "Tyler kneels beside my bed and says, 'Close your eyes and give me your hand.' And then he presses his lips to the scar from the kiss."
That is heavy. It's so visceral. It's not a fight anymore, it's a ritual.
But the real kicker, the part that actually breaks the logic of the narrator's reality, is when Tyler clarifies the whole two people thing. He says, "We are not two different people." In a few words, it's like this. When you are awake, you can call yourself whatever you want. But when you fall asleep, my turn comes and you turn into Tyler Durden.
Wait till the insomnia he was complaining about earlier, that wall that made the world feel boring, it wasn't just exhaustion, it was a hijacking.
It's even more calculated than that. He says Tyler was using his identity to rent houses, to run errands, to work 2 jobs. He says, "Check, the bank copies the checks. I rented the house in your name." The narrator is literally paying for his own replacement.
And the audacity, he's even using the narrator's money. It's a middle-aged nightmare, realizing you've been a passenger in your own life, and the driver is a ghost you created to escape your boredom.
But then there's the Marla element. This is the part that always gets me. He says Marla doesn't even know the difference, because he lied to her the very first night. He literally gave her a fake name to hide the fact that he was fracturing. It's a betrayal of the self, he says. "I am too finished, too right. I wanted to escape my mousy scurry, to stop playing the role of a consumer in an airplane seat."
Too finished. That's such a haunting way to put it. Like he was a completed, polished, useless product.
And then we hit the fast forward, and God, it's bleak. Everything is breaking. He's terrified to even look in his own freezer. Because the freezer isn't just fruit anymore. It's a graveyard. He sees these little plastic bags with frozen chunks of flesh and names of cities like Las Vegas or Milwaukee.
That is gruesome. The space monkeys are literally performing hits and he's just staring at the freezer. Now look at the monkeys in the corner of the kitchen, just staring at themselves in a tiny mirror, calling themselves toxic waste of the universe's creation.
It's that loss of dignity. The deconstruction has gone too far. There's no self left, find just human refuse. but it's so strange how the text shifts. Even in this chaos, he tries to cling to something. He says, "I take a deep breath and try to concentrate on my enlightened spiritual essence." Birdsong. Raindrops on roses. I want to cry.
It's so much effort. He's trying to force a Zen moment in the middle of a domestic horror movie.
And it fails. Immediately. Marla walks in and asks, "What's for lunch?" And the darkness just creeps back in. It's a loop. He says, a full circle is completed. He can't even look in the freezer anymore, but he's still too scared to let her. He's stuck in this purgatory of his own making.
And then we get to the Project Mayhem manuals, the napalm recipes. Gasoline, orange juice concentrate, cat feces is also visceral and gross.
It's the rejection of the civilized world. He's literally replacing the fine world with chemical sludge. And the way he describes the future, it's all corporate colonization. The constellation, IBM, the Philip Morris galaxy, the universe, Budweiser. It's the end game of the consumerist identity he was trying to escape. Everything, even the stars, becomes a brand.
And the waiter just sees Tyler. He's so subservient. Everything you desire is free for you, sir. It's like the entire social contract has dissolved into this weird, terrifying cult of personality.
But the end of this passage, it brings us back to the beginning, to the actual root of the rot. He admits it. He wasn't just tired. He was too finished. He was too right. He was trapped in the mousy scurry of a perfect, middle-aged, consumerist life. And the only way he knew how to break out was to sleep.
And hope that when he woke up, he'd be someone else.
Even if that someone else was a hyper monster. Okay, I think I need a minute. We just watched a man lose his entire existence in the span of a few paragraphs.
It said he lost it, Seth. He's watching it happen in real time, and he's literally powerless to stop it because the self he's trying to save is already gone.
And it's so surreal. He starts this section talking about shadows of hands made from logs, almost like a Zen koan, and then he just admits, maybe I never woke up on this beach. It's the fragmentation. He's questioning his own fundamental reality. He says, when I think I am sleeping, I am actually not sleeping. He's describing a state of being a passenger in a body that's being hijacked.
And Marla is just there, witnessing the wreckage. She's so casual about it. She compares his split personality to the mother in Psycho, like, oh, cool, your alter ego is a terrorist. I once dated a guy who couldn't stop piercing himself.
She's the only thing tethering him to something human, even if it's just a blunt, messy reality. But look at how he describes the mechanics of the hijacking. It's so clinical. When I fall asleep, Tyler hijacks my tired body and battered face to commit something criminal. And the math of it is terrifying. He says if he goes to bed earlier, he's actually just giving Tyler more time. The more he tries to rest, the more the monster gets to live.
It's the paradox of burnout, isn't it? The more you try to escape the chaos by retreating into sleep, the more the chaos takes over your life.
But then we hit the Big Bob section, and I actually had enough to stop reading for a second. It's brutal. The standard homework. The way he describes using Freon to freeze a lock, to burst it, it's so much detail. It's like he's trying to ground this madness in something concrete, something technical.
But look at the cost. His name was Robert Paulson, and he would never be older. That line, it hits like a physical blow.
It ties back to everything he said earlier about how everything turns to dust. But here, it's a bullet. A single shot, and this warm center of the universe just becomes an object. An inanimate object. And the way the group reacts, it's not grief, it's ritual. His name is Robert Paul, really. He was 48 years old, and he was a member of Fight Club. They aren't mourning a man, they are canonizing a martyr for their cause.
It's the most terrifying thing in the book, he says. Only after death do we find our names. Because after death, we will no longer be an anonymous force. Death will make us heroes.
He's literally saying that anonymity is the prison, and death is the only way to achieve an identity. It's the dark side of the deconstruction we've even been discussing. To find yourself, you have to cease to exist. It's a total inversion of everything we value. Usually, we fight for life, for longevity. He's saying the anonymity of living is what's killing us.
And then the irony. The absolute crushing irony. He goes to the club to end it. He stands in the center of the light and says, the game is over. The joke has gone too far. He's trying to be the voice of reason. He's trying to be the old him.
But he's not the old him anymore. He says, for all here, I am Tyler Durden. And the club doesn't care. They don't even look at him. They are looking through him. They are looking at the space under the lamp. They've moved past the individual. They are the anonymous force now.
And then the ritual starts. The evacuation of the soul. They don't even argue with him. They just lift him up.
1,500 fingers gripping every inch of my arms and legs. He's being carried away by the very thing he created. He's being evacuated from his own authority. It's the terrifying conclusion of the middle age crisis turned radical. You try to burn down the corporate identity to find the core, but you end up burning down the you that was even capable of making the fire.
He's just floating. I am floating. I am floating. But he's not flying toward freedom. He's being tossed aside like the very disposable trash he was trying to escape.
The full circle is complete. The creator has been deleted by his own creation. Okay, I think we need to reset. We just watched a man being physically discarded by his own movement. The soul has been evacuated.
It's a heavy way to start a new chapter. He's literally falling onto a parking lot being tossed away like trash. And the worst part, he's not even alone in the chaos. He's being hunted.
It's so claustrophobic. He's in this hotel room, the Regent, surrounded by old men and junkies, and he's just waiting. But he's not waiting for peace. He's waiting for the next collision. And look how he describes his state of mind. He says he used to want a death-like mindless sleep, but now more than anything, I am afraid to fall asleep.
Because asleep is when the hijacking happens. That's the whole terror of the last section. He's lost control of his very nocturnal hours.
And Marla, she's just there handing him a handful of pills, like it's nothing. She's even talking about the next level of drugs. She mentions crosses, black beauties, or alligators. I'd just stop you there, Jane. I was actually looking into that. Those aren't just random names. They're actual slang for different types of stimulants. It's that gritty, underground layer of the world he's living in. The vocabulary of his decay is real.
Well, it certainly adds to the vibe, but man, Marley is wild. She tells him he can just shove him up his ass to avoid a stomachache. I mean, she's definitely not the civilized person from the IKEA furnished life he used to live.
But look at the tension. He's terrified. He says he feels marked like a migratory goose because of the pins on the Project Mayhem maps. The very idea that his movements are being tracked by office supplies. It's the loss of privacy. The disposable man is now a tracked man. And he's so lost in it that he can't even distinguish himself from Tyler anymore. He says, wherever I go, everyone takes me for Tyler Durden.
And it's working for him. The bus driver gives him a free ride. The guys on the bus give him their seats.
But it's a hollow victory, isn't it? It's just more of that copy of a copy feeling. He's a ghost inhabiting a legend. But then, the tone shifts. It goes from this drug-fueled hotel room haze to absolute clinical destruction. Then, so I've been in the imam chai to them core.
The police line. He's watching from the bus. He sees the window blown out. He sees the desk falling from the 4th floor.
And he just describes it as very effective. No emotion. Just, I'm a lump in Joe's stomach. He's literally disassociating from his own physical presence. He's not even the man at the desk anymore. He's just the debris. And then he admits it. He admits the truth. I know my boss is dead.
And he's not even surprised. He's like, yeah, I authorized this. I even provided the recipe.
This is the part that always makes my skin crawl. The way he goes into the technical details of the bomb, the CRT monitor, the drilling, the gasoline, the cat feces. It's so specific. It's almost like he's writing a manual for the reader. He's saying, if you want to destroy the system, here is the exact voltage you need to discharge. It's a terrifyingly practical kind of nihilism.
It's the new cuisine of anarchy. He's talking about nitrates and barium as if he's a chef. It's so detached from the human cost.
But but the cost is right there in the next line. The trouble is, I loved my boss a little bit. That's the tragedy. He's caught between this old human loyalty and this new chemical rage. He says, my father is the model for my God, and sometimes your career can replace your father. He's trying to reconcile the corporate identity he hated with the person he actually was.
And then the space monkeys find him. On the bus.
It's so sudden. 1 second he's looking at the wreckage of his office, and the next, 20 shaved heads are turning to look at him. And the driver calls him Mr. Durden, sir. He's part of it. The whole world has been recruited into this decentralized, anonymous hierarchy.
And the mechanic, the guy from the club, he's right there, holding a hunting knife.
And the rubber band. He says, you know they are going to pull your testicles with it right now. It's a total loss of autonomy. He's not even the leader of the revolution anymore. He's just a target. He's being hunted by the committee he helped build.
He's just trapped in a bus surrounded by people who see him as a god but treat him like a prisoner.
The deconstruction is complete. There's nothing left to tear down because there's nothing left of him.
Man, that bus scene is heavy. I need to step away before my brain actually implodes.
Agreed. Let's take 5 and clear the air. Alright, we are officially in the wreckage. Alright everyone, we are officially in the wreckage. If you've been following us, you know we've been tracking this disintegration of the self. We're looking at the aftermath of the explosion. It's an explosion, Seth. The end of everything he thought he was. The apartment, the IKEA furniture, the curated life. It's all just ash.
And the absolute audacity of this guy. He's hanging out of a bus window, literally dangling by a tire, and the mechanic is he's checking the stopwatch. He's like, don't ruin our record, Mr. Durden.
It's terrifying. Look at how the text moves. He's being threatened with castration, tomatoes, apricots, balls, and he tries to play the diplomat. He says, I'm changing the rules, no more castration, and the mechanic just calls his bluff. Because the rules don't belong to him anymore. He even admits it. He says, fine, I am Tyler Durden. I am Tyler Durden, and I dictate the rules. He's surrendered.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Is my mic buzzing? I think I'm getting some interference from the studio lights.
It's actually a very loud hum, Paco.
Let me just... Okay, better? Sorry guys, I think I accidentally bumped the audio interface when I was reaching for my tea.
It's fine, it actually felt very Fight Club. A little bit of chaos in the signal. Very meta. But back to the bus. This part, it's visceral. He's hanging upside down, his tie is slapping his face, his belt buckle is caught on the rim. And then, the meditation. That's the part that gets me. He uses this hypnotic, almost ritualistic language. He starts talking about a directed meditation. Don't imagine the metal edge as a knife. Don't imagine people in black pulling your legs apart. He's trying to use a mental technique to escape the physical trauma of being pulled out of that window.
But he fails. He can't escape it. The text says, a warm hand touches you, followed by the cold tip of a knife. It's pure terror. He's being broken down.
And then we jump. Total blackout. He wakes up on a concrete floor, and look at how he describes the wreckage. He calls it charred shell, and compares it to outer space black and desolate. It's such a heavy realization. He says, before the explosion, there was maple flooring. Before the explosion, there was Swedish furniture. Before Tyler.
That's the whole point, isn't it? He's basically saying that the civilized version of him, the one with the nice floors and the nice chairs, was actually just a shell. The explosion didn't destroy his life. It destroyed his prison.
Exactly. He's an astronaut. An ape-astronaut. He's lost his job, his home, his credit, everything. He's reached that state of zero probability we talked about earlier. He says, I have nothing left. But then there's Marla. He's standing on the edge of a 15-story drop, contemplating jumping into the void. And the only thing stopping him is Marla.
And it's not even a romantic way to be saved. It's messy. He's calling her, pretending to be Tyler, and she just tells him to piss off, asshole.
It's a complete collapse of identity. He can't even tell her the truth because he doesn't know where the him ends and Tyler begins. He even says, she doesn't know the difference between me and Tyler. And then we end up in that church basement, the most surreal part of the whole passage. He's trying to do this deep spiritual work, visual ting the Palace of Seven Gates, and Marla just walks up and punches him in the face.
You piece of shit! That is the most therapeutic greeting I've ever heard.
It's violent, it's absurd, and it ties back to everything we've been saying about the destruction of the ego. The meditation is interrupted by the reality of the trauma. He's trying to find peace, but he's still trapped in the wreckage of the person he used to be. We're back, and honestly, I'm still trying to catch my breath from that transition. We left him in the wreckage, and now we're in the aftermath of a literal confession. It's a confession that sounds more like a fever dream. He's talking about phenobarbital, about forgetting oneself in a deep sleep, like in the Valley of the Dogs.
That's heavy. But look, he's trying to play it cool with Marla. She confronts him. She's basically saying, I saw you kill someone today. And his response? He's like, if you're talking about my boss, yeah, 1,000 times yes.
He's not even denying it. He's just trying to shift the blame. He says, it's Tyler, not me. He's clinging to that distinction, like a lifeline. I have the same fingerprints as Tyler, but who's going to explain that to the police? But Marla isn't buying the identity crisis excuse. She points at a bruised eye and tells him, you and your little students just like beating people up. She's calling out the cult aspect, the Project Mayhem disciples.
And then this is the wildest part. He tries to pivot to this murder mystery party vibe. He describes these course parties where the rich people pretend to be killed for fun. He's talking about candlelight, expensive consomme, and people guessing who the killer is.
It's so cynical. It's that disposable world we keep coming back to. Even death is just a high-end entertainment option for the elite. But look how he uses that to deflect the actual murder. Marla screams, you killed the city councilman for recycling. And he's just dismissive. It was Tyler. He killed someone, something. I don't know.
Wait. Look at the room. He says everyone in the room. The people with colon cancer, the people on painkillers, they all stop. They all stop their little misfortunes to listen to the chaos.
Because he's giving them a spectacle. He's telling them, I am not Tyler Durden. He is my second self. Half of my split consciousness. He's literally trying to use a psychological diagnosis as a legal defense in a church basement. And then he goes for the jugular. He tries to be romantic in the most unhinged way possible. He tells Marla, I'm telling you this because I think I like you.
Oh man. That is the most unearned, cringy, middle-aged man attempting to be profound wine I have ever heard in my life. You like me? Only? Don't ask me for a confession of love. It's painful.
But then the tone shifts. The split starts to heal, or maybe it just expands. He says, everything I remembered, everything Tyler knew, it's coming back to me. The skills, the locks, the history, he's becoming a vessel for the entire collapse. And he ends up at the Arsenal bar. The crowd parts like a zipper. For everyone here, I am Tyler Durden, the great and terrible, God and Father.
And then the violence starts. And it's not even a fight, it's a slaughter. He says he challenges everyone, 50 fights, no shoes, bare chests.
Look at the imagery here. It's brutal. He's being slammed into the concrete. He says his teeth are breaking. The shards are piercing his tongue. And he's intercutting this with the image of Patrick Madden's widow, this tiny doll-like woman trying to pour champagne into her dead husband's mouth. That's the most haunting part. The contrast. The absolute horror of the physical pain, the double Nelson, the broken collarbone, and this bizarre, ritualistic grief. She's tasting the blood. She's using her fingers to taste the crimson pool.
It's like he's losing his grip on what's real and what's ritual. He's screaming about wanting to smash the Greek collection at the British Museum with a hammer. He's just pure destruction.
He hits this peak of total nihilistic ego death. He says, all those you loved will either leave you or die. Everything you created will be forgotten. Everything you were proud of will eventually be thrown in the trash. He literally quotes Ozymandias. I am Ozymandias, king of kings. He's embracing the dust, the total erasure of the self.
And then the most insane beat of all. He says Tyler Durden the man, the myth, the monster falls to the floor as a warm lump of bloody meat. The greatness ends in a pile of flesh.
But the narrator, the him, he stands back up. I stand up and begin a new fight because I want to die. Because dying is the only way to stop being a part of the project. And And then, just like that, the chaos settles into a terrifying clarity. He ends the passage with, "Tyler stands before me again. He is, as always, beautiful with the beauty of a blonde angel."
From a bloody lump of meat back to a blonde angel, the man has no consistency.
He doesn't need consistency. He has the explosion. Okay, we've reached the end. Or, we've reached the moment where the end meets the beginning. We're looking at the final pages of the manuscript, and everything is stripped. Stripped is an understatement, Seth. He starts this section by saying he is a bloody specimen of biological tissue drying out on a bare mattress. There's no more apartment. There's no more IKEA.
He says the mirror is gone. The one with the photo of his leg from when he had cancer. I mean, talk about a bad trip. He's literally describing the erasure of his history.
It's a total deconstruction. Look at how he lists the loss. 6 pairs of white shirts, black trousers, underwear, socks, shoes all gone. It's like an eviction from his own identity. And Tyler is just there, barking orders. Get up! He's not even comforting him. He's treating the narrator's collapse like a morning workout.
But look at what he says about the unbreakable surface of things. He says nightmares ripen underneath it. That is so heavy. Is like the consumer's life we're talking about is just the top layer of a rot.
Exactly. And then he gets into the, how do I put this, the instruction manual phase.
Oh, here we go. The chemistry lesson.
Right. He's literally giving us the recipe. Take 1 part 98% nitric acid and mix it with 3 parts concentrated sulfuric acid on an ice bath. He's explaining how to make nitroglycerin right there in the middle of a breakdown. It's so jarring. 1 second he's losing his socks, the next he's walking Wikipedia for explosives. Mix nitroglycerin with sawdust and you get a great plastic. It's like the information is the only thing that hasn't been stolen from him.
But it's also unstable, isn't it? Like he said earlier, the paraffin mix is unreliable. Everything is just volatile.
And then we're on the roof. The Parker Place skyscraper. The gun is in his mouth. This is the peak of the madness. He says the gun is against his very glottis. And Tyler is telling him, we won't die for real.
Wait, we won't die for real? Is he saying they're vampires? Because the narrator literally responds, what are you talking about? We are vampires. I love this guy. He's having a psychotic break and he's still arguing the logic of the genre.
But look at the timer. The tension is mechanical. 7 minutes left. 4 minutes. He's counting down the seconds of his existence, and he's even critiquing the explosive quality of the gun barrel. I wonder how clean it is. And then Marla shows up. The support group arrives. It's this parade of the sick to colon cancer patients, the people with melanoma, the tuberculosis victims. They're all running toward him screaming, "Stop."
It's so surreal. It's like a zombie movie, but the zombies are just people in wheelchairs and people with bandages. They're all trying to save a man who is actively trying to erase himself.
And he realizes something crucial here. He says, I don't want to kill myself. I want to kill Tyler. That's the pivot. The entire struggle of the book, The Middle-Aged Man Fighting for His Soul. It's all distilled into this one shot. He's using a bullet to perform an exorcism.
And then, boom, he pulls the trigger. And the most terrifying thing isn't the death, it's the next line. He says, of course, when I pulled the trigger, I died.
He's a liar. Or he's telling a truth we can't grasp. He says, liar. Tyler died too. So the explosion, the destruction of the building, it wasn't just a physical event. It was the death of the persona. He's in this heaven that looks like a hospital wing.
The heavens are very quiet because everyone wears soft-soled slippers. That is such a beautiful, depressing image. No more chaos. Just
look at his encounter with God. This is the part that really challenges the whole deconstruction theme. He meets God, and God is just a guy at a desk checking off notes in a notebook. And God asks the question, why? Why all the pain? Why the destruction?
And the narrator, he doesn't give a grand spiritual answer. He doesn't say it was for enlightenment. He looks at God and says, I think God is also mistaken. We are not unique. But we aren't just decaying organic matter either. We exist. We just exist.
We exist, and with us, whatever happens, happens. That's the most honest thing I've ever heard. No meaning, no destiny, no tapestry, just the raw, unadorned fact of existence.
Even the glory is gone. He's not a hero. He's just a guy with a face split from ear to ear like a Halloween pumpkin.
But Marla is still writing to him. She's still there in the world of things. And he says, if heaven had a phone, I would call her, and I wouldn't be silent. He ends with the whispers. The space monkeys are still out there, whispering, everything is going according to plan. The destruction is ongoing. The work isn't finished.
I guess even when the man dies, the project lives on.
Well, I think we need to go sit in a dark room for a while. I think we do. Well, I think we need to go sit in a dark room for a while. I think we do.
Seriously though, we started this journey looking at a man who just wanted a nice apartment and some decent IKEA furniture, and we ended up in a church basement watching the literal foundations of identity get blown to pieces.
It's been a heavy ride, hasn't it? We've tracked the disintegration from the first corporate burnout to this final, terrifying, beautiful moment of pure existence. We've seen the curated self stripped away until there was nothing left but the raw, unadorned fact of being no titles, no property, no even a consistent name. It's a brutal way to find peace, but looking back at everything we've discussed, there's something undeniably honest about it. The destruction of the shell to find the core. Even if that core is just, we exist.
Just don't try the nitroglycerin at home, okay? I don't think my insurance covers accidental chemical deconstruction. And Seth, if you start seeing blonde angels in the studio lights, I'm calling an exorcist.
I'll keep my angels to a minimum, Paco. I promise. It's been a profound experience, exploring this wreckage with both of you. To everyone listening, whether you're feeling the weight of your own curated life, or just looking for a bit of truth in the chaos, thank you for walking through the smoke with us. Thank you for tuning in. We'll leave you with the silence of the heavens and the quiet, steady pulse of just existing. Until next time.
Peace out, everyone. Stay messy.
Goodbye.